the Marvel Cinematic Universe is drawing from the 80s.
Which, hey, it is what it is. But they have shown the cocoon of Stephen Warlock for his Jesus-like return to life. Which, yes, they bring Jesus back from a cocoon and then make him into God, which is kind of nifty.
Nifty.
And that's Adam Warlock. He is Jesus God.
Want to know what else is nifty? Peeves and Qs, a podcast where we ask each other questions and talk about what's annoying us every week. And this is a very special episode in which we will be talking about one specific topic. This is something that we've wanted to do. And in this episode... For years on this show. We've been talking about this. You guys know. We've been doing this podcast for about 40 years now. And all that time, we've never done a special...
All uphill and in the snow.
What's that?
All uphill and in the snow.
Uphill and in the snow. Both ways. That's right.
ways.
And one thing that we haven't done yet, because I was lying about the 40 years thing, it's only been 3 episodes, is a special episode where we talk about a specific topic, which is what we're going to do here. In this case, Marvel. Marvel. The concept of things being marvelous. I think mountains are marvelous.
You know what I think is marvelous?
What's marvelous?
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's great too. We could form into that. Segue. Hilarious and awesome segue.
Who's on this show?
Oh, I'm Mr. Red. Hi. I'm the host. And with me, as always, is Quaffman over here.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Quaffman. We also have Clever Girl.
Hello.
And our special guest.
Hi.
What's up, special guest?
Oh, just special guesting around.
This is a one-time thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only showing up this once.
They only contracted me for the one episode, but I'm going to do what I can.
Well, we can always revisit that later.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's the same, yes.
Back to Marvel.
Marvel.
So, Marvel.
We're talking about Marvel. So, what came out recently? What movie, you guys?
Civil War.
Great.
Are you asking
No,
me
I'm
to
just trying to
lead
I just
in?
don't-
Yes,
no.
That's because that sounded really
No,
condescending.
I'm
what
doing-
came out recently, guys?
I'm doing like a professor thing where I'm like, who can tell me what movie came out? Because I don't want to be the only
So
one sitting
that
up here
clears up
talking.
who his favorite character is, Professor X.
Professor, that's not in the movie. That was in the other one.
It's still in Marvel.
Whatever.
So go suck it.
If we want to narrow the subject down to specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just for time, the sake of time, I think.
When you say the Marvel Cinematic Universe, are we talking about the
nothing made by Sony or Fox?
Oh, what? No, we're not doing that.
You want to talk about all the Marvel movies?
Well,
Yeah.
those aren't
There's like
the Marvel movies.
was
Like
gonna
they're
say-
they are Marvel comics, but they're not fitting in with.
So you know how textbooks will do a thing where they define things beforehand so you know going in?
Uh-huh.
So when we say Marvel movies, I think we can be talking about anything that has Marvel characters in it that was originally from
I
Marvel
think that
Comics.
we won't veer too much. I'm sure.
Marvel
Okay.
Cinematic Universe refers to anything with the Avengers on it or any
Netflix.
delineating character. Or
Yeah.
the Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Anything that's tied into that universe. So if we say Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're not talking about any X-Men unless it's Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they should have been. It's going to get into
it's a
some
whole
really...
thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. All right. So Civil War came out. Who saw Civil War? Raise your hands. This is an audio podcast, so this is going to go over well.
This makes
Audience,
a great
if you're listening and if you've
Yeah.
also seen Civil War, join us in raising of hands.
Everyone raise your hands now. Take a picture. Tweet it to us at Mr. We need to get...
Peeves and Qs.
At Peeves and Qs. We need to get a Twitter for the podcast. That'd be a great idea.
That'd be great to do.
Show notes. You've seen some behind the scenes inside baseball action.
Anyway,
What'd you guys think of Civil War? Let's go around the table and give our opinions.
Okay, where do you start?
Well, overall opinions first. I'll go. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. I thought my expectations for it were a little lower before going in, so I think that really helped because I was kind of expecting this to be just a little bit... Because all the Marvel movies kind of have a very similar tone, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like the trailers, based on what we saw in the trailers and
Yeah.
everything, it just seemed like, oh, it's going to be Marvel, more Marvel.
Yeah.
It might start to get a little tired, but I don't think it did. I think this movie... Did we talk about this last week? Where I thought it was necessary based on all of the new characters that they brought in since... They brought in so many characters since the last Avengers movie and, since then, that it just made a lot of sense to be like, here's just all of the people that we have now, all the toys that we can play with, and here's all them just here's their powers, here's their characters, here's how they play off each other, and that kind of thing. Because we need that. We need that. And I thought it was just a lot of fun. Just, if I could go see 2.5 hours of the airport scene, the airport fight scene, I'd just be like, yeah, this is the best movie. This is the best movie.
spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. By the way, we're going to be spoiling this movie. We're going to talk in depth about everything. Nobody dies. Surprising. We all expected that. Or I did, anyway.
So are we just still continuing with the general...
Oh, yes.
impression?
Who wants to go? Jordan, do you want to?
Sure.
Special guest?
So I think that what I loved about Civil War because it is a good film, but what I love the most about it is seeing the culmination of these characters being built by Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, seeing the progression of Iron Man as he goes from reckless, like, party boy into taking accountability for his actions. And really that's that, and then the progression of Captain America from the by-the-book Boy Scout into, honestly, a bit of a cold person, like a realist, a hard facts, like people die, it happens, get over it kind of thing.
He lost like his distrust of like authority over the years, especially with what happened in Winter Soldier, where he was like, "Oh, I see what can go horribly wrong with
or
like."
He gained a distrust of authority.
Yes, thank you. Lost his faith in.
Yeah,
but seeing that build over all the films that those two have been in, and then letting that be what is the essential culmination is Civil War. I mean, you have, because of what they've done, they've created characters that would fight about this legitimately. It's not a fight because, well, this is what happens. It's a fight because these two characters have been developed in just this way. And I love seeing that.
It's actually something that I was thinking about since the movie came out, because I thought initially, like, Tony Stark, it seems very out of character for him to be like, what's that?
General impressions.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to it. Who wants to? Is that...
Yeah, that's my first thing.
Great. What did you think about the movie over there, yo?
Oh, me? My turn?
Yeah, your turn. What's up?
Oh, well, it's too damn long, but I really don't like sitting in a movie theater for 2.5 hours.
What's the last movie that you've seen that's been like a perfect length for you?
Deadpool was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long.
Like, I hit that 2-hour mark and I'm like, I don't care what you're talking about, wrap it up. Like, I don't know. I'm not one of those persons that, leaves your life behind when you go to a movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I need to get back to my life. I have other things to do. It was good.
Yeah.
Characters were good. I don't really like that there's so many Avengers now.
That's not going to get better
I
anytime
know.
soon.
It just seems like it was an exclusive club, and now everyone can be in it, including my not-so-favorite Spider-Man. But
we can get into the details.
Yeah, we will get into that. But
just forewarning, this is going to be a 3-hour podcast.
At least.
All right, those are my thoughts.
Connor, you're not wearing a watch. Don't look at your wrist like that.
So, the Quaff Man.
Quaff Man. What's up?
Like
You didn't like it. You didn't like it.
I
Really?
didn't like it. No.
I'm so happy to hear you say that.
No, I loved it. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
God!
All right.
Dang it!
Well, now she's less happy. Thank you for listening to Peeves and Qs. You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com.
I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, this is terrible. Shut it down.
No, I really liked it. I mean, I have a very specific reason why I liked it, because I did not expect... I expected going into this movie that I would enjoy it, because I enjoy the Marvel movie format.
They're
I think
fun.
It works.
They're just fun.
So I knew I was going to I at least know going in that it was going to be decently made and, sort of well crafted. But walking out, I really liked it, but I can get into that specifically why later.
Yeah. So that's initial impressions. I think we all pretty much really liked it.
Yeah.
There wasn't... What's up? What do you...
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
You look over at me like I didn't
no,
like it.
sorry,
It was a very good movie.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Do we want to talk about like specifics? What like favorite parts were in that movie?
Man. Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
That excites me.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Calm
Lots of spoilers, actually. This is the spoiler, really.
Right. Which part are you I don't know, actually.
The film.
Yes, now I do.
So, Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor.
Oh, man.
And he
at
played...
the beginning? Like the... Never mind, go
No.
ahead.
At the end, the emotional climax.
Right.
He had this beautiful moment of not even having to say anything more than exactly what was needed. You see this film of the Winter Soldier killing his parents.
And we see the event in action earlier in the movie.
We see
Like
Winter
a couple of
Soldier.
times.
We see Winter Soldier's flashbacks
Yeah.
of Winter Soldier like taking out a mission
Right.
and like
Right, sure.
we don't know exactly what
But
it's
we
about
don't know
yet.
who's in the car.
Right.
Because it seems, the way it's constructed, that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just
That's the thing that he's after is what's in the trunk,
Right,
which
he
is... Right.
He goes to carry out a mission where he takes this thing in, and there happen to be people in the car, but that's not
So going
important.
into what you're talking about...
Yes.
Right. And then we find out in the callback to it that the people that he killed to get the attempted Captain America serum was the parents of Tony Stark, and it's this beautiful
Howard and what's her name?
Yeah, Howard and what's her name?
Yes,
which of
Nina?
course
I didn't ever do that.
parallels his beautiful introduction to Iron Man in the movie of him having this hologram flashback to the last moment of his parents.
I
was
thought
really-
that was amazing.
Which was really, it was really smart. Not just it was awesome to see like 80s Robert Downey Jr. like almost exactly like he looked back then, but also to be like, so this connection that he had with his parents and like that relationship and the fact that he died, which hadn't really been brought up or talked much about.
Right.
His parents were obviously talked about and referenced in the past,
No,
but they weren't.
Dad was.
Yes, Howard, and he was a character. Like even Agent Carter, like he was.
Yeah.
If anyone's seen that,
Right. He was also in.
He was like a
the
character.
first Captain America film.
and he was in
was in-
second.
He was in Ant-Man in the beginning.
Yes, he was an Ant-Man at the beginning. He's been sprinkled in, peppered in.
Right. And so you have these things happening, and when Tony Stark finds out that the Winter Soldier killed his parents, he goes to, of course, take out some revenge, some unhero-y, murdery revenge.
He avenged his parents. Ba-dum-bum.
Whoa,
Okay.
hey!
Oh, and
That's why he.
No, he avenged his mother, let's face it, because he said, you killed my mom.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's the moment. Just Captain America saying,
Well, that's just great because like I feel a lesser writer or a lesser pair. I'm not quite sure who wrote it. I know that
The Russo brothers directed.
they directed, but I don't know like
I
how
can look
they
that up
like.
while we're talking.
Great, but I think a lesser writer would, because that moment, Cap says to him like, it doesn't matter, like let it go. It's whatever,
right.
This is in the past.
Kicking
and
his butt isn't going to change it, yeah.
Right. This isn't going to help. And I think lesser writers, I think I would be tempted definitely to like, no, this, and they brought it down to just the one line. I don't care. He killed my mom. That's the simplest line, but it's perfect.
and because it's that exact, like I don't know if another actor could have done the same thing with it. It was just so, it was right what it needed to be, and that was just my favorite moment of the movie. I mean, I loved a lot of it.
Touches all of us because, hello, we all have mothers. You
Right,
know? Even
yeah.
if you don't know your mother, you have a mother.
Yeah. Screenplay by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who I'm not sure what else they've done, but
But he touched
Great
on
job,
the
guys.
Achilles.
yeah. Lucas.
Wow,
Okay.
wow. You're banned from future episodes.
No, hold on. I think he's promoted to host. That was awesome. So yeah, I was actually really thrown when I saw this movie twice. And the first time that moment threw me for a loop when he said he killed my mom, because I was like, are we forgetting about someone else that he killed?
It doesn't matter.
But my immediate first impression was like, that was a weird line. But then seeing it again, it's like that aspect probably means a lot more to him, especially because of how he killed each one of his parents. Because if you watch the film, he like punches his father in the head like twice and like bashes his skull in, and that was pretty graphic. And then he like casually meanders over to the other side and then like strangles her slowly and like intimately, and
Well,
it's
for
like,
no reason.
for no reason. He didn't need to do that, right?
Well, I think he probably had
Witnesses.
orders. Yeah,
Probably, yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I think that was set up really well and very subtly in the beginning of the film when we have the holographic.
Yeah.
Which we
It
didn't.
is very clear he has a very different relationship with his mom
Yeah.
than he does with his dad.
Yeah, he's like
Well,
literally almost offhandish
Yeah.
with his father. Like, it's like, yeah, hope you don't, die in a car crash on the way to blah blah blah. But then with his mother, it's like, I wish I could like talk to you guys again or whatever.
Also, there's something in that scene that I haven't heard anyone talk about, but I've really wanted to.
Is it the Santa hat?
No, okay,
Stop.
but we'll get to that.
We will get to the Santa hat, the crucifix
no,
of this movie.
there's a line that his
Crux, not
that
crucifix.
His mom has,
Mm-hmm.
and he says to him very quickly before Howard Stark comes in, this is the last time we're gonna be together.
Yes, this is the last time you'll see us.
What does that mean?
This is how Robert Downey
Right. This is
is playing this.
Sure.
This
Okay,
scene
yeah.
didn't. When this scene happened in
They didn't
life,
say that.
like
Right, sure,
those
okay.
lines didn't take place. This was him being like, I know this is the last time I see my parents, here's the catharsis that I would want from this scene with my mother saying.
Or it's literally just telling the audience that.
Or yeah, that too.
Because I also wondered maybe she did, because I did have the thought, well, maybe like you said, like catharsis, and this wasn't really said, but maybe because they said they were going somewhere.
Yeah, they were going to the airport. They're going to fly.
I actually thought that maybe Howard was going to be like indicted.
Really?
For like war crimes. Or whatever.
That's definitely a possibility.
I thought about that too for a split second. Yeah.
So like again, like I haven't heard anyone else talk about it like within like the media or like, in this format, so I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, I took from it like she wasn't saying that the hologram Tony Stark had programmed.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like it's him.
But there might be something more there.
Tony Stark loves meta humor.
And his mommy.
Can we talk for a moment about the age of Howard Stark? Because he was running around in World War II?
Yes.
As like a 30-year-old?
Yes.
And now he's here in 2016 and he's like 50?
But that wasn't. That was in 1991.
Yes.
That did take place in 1991, okay.
But that was 1991.
Yeah,
Still.
I know.
He had a 20-year-old son.
Yeah.
They say he's 20 years old.
Sure.
So Stark was born in 71.
71.
Yep.
Tony was.
Right.
Which
Howard Stark was easily 25. Let's say 25 in Captain America.
Yeah, that's fair.
And what? This was in the height of the German front
yes.
40s.
of the war.
Well,
so
30s.
Well, hold on a minute, because Agent Carter takes place 1 year after the first Captain America.
Okay.
And that show takes place in 46.
America did not get involved in World War II.
I know, that surprised me. I was watching that show and I was like, this must have been like the 30s,
there
right?
Are historical, well, not just that, but like by the time we knew Japan in 41,
right.
like the German front, the European front was almost done. At least as far as our... Anyway, that's not important. But, like, his age, though, like, damn, dude.
I know. He looks good. I don't know what his trick is, like yoga or whatever.
I thought you said Yoda. I was like, he's not Yoda.
That too.
You also got to feel bad for, like, the guy who played Howard Stark in Iron Man 2. Because he was never brought back for any other film.
Who played him in Iron Man 2?
Some older guy. He's and it's that footage stuff, not the found footage, but, like... He's like Howard Stark is being interviewed by a talk show host or whatever. He's talking about this. I mean, you guys know, and it's not the same guy who's been playing him since Captain America.
Right. Captain America: The First Avenger takes place the movie begins March of 1942.
Told you.
Okay. So 42.
Wow. That's when America joined World War II.
Kind of
symbolism.
Well, kind of.
It's when we sent troops. For the most
part. We sent support all in the 30s.
But in comic books, 42 because Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
we officially declared war in 1941.
Right.
December 30th, 1941.
Right. Well, there wasn't enough time for that to count, quote unquote.
But anyways, so Captain America takes place.
Takes place in 42. So Howard Stark must be like. We can probably do math. We don't need to do that. That's fine. He should be a lot older than he is in this movie. He should be,
let's see, so that's 46 years since then from 91, because we're assuming 45. He's 25, so
sure.
Add another 46 years, he's 67, 77.
See, it's not that old. He looks easily 67 in those movies.
Maybe, yeah. It's always, even before this movie came out,
I know you guys think that that Captain America takes place in the 20s, but it doesn't take place in the 30s or 40s.
Well, it just has a very 20s feel.
Well, we weren't at war in the 20s with anybody.
Right.
In the 20s.
So this was thanks for talking about Civil War, you guys. My favorite scene.
Oh no, I have more.
Yeah, me too.
I have more. I wish this was Avengers 3.
Well,
it basically was.
It was.
Do you mean in title?
I mean in title.
Yes.
And the last moment. The last moment where it has not the before the credit sequence, like of the film proper.
Now I want to say that yes, there were all the Avengers in there, and people will probably try to make
not
points.
all. Thor and Hulk were not. In
No,
that movie.
not all the Avengers.
Okay,
Like
but
a
you
ton
said
of
all.
all of the Avengers that are in this movie are in this movie. That's a sentence I just said.
Just keep going.
And so there are a ton of Avengers in this movie, and a lot of people I think will try to say like this is a Captain America movie, and here's why, because of all these events and thematically and blah blah blah.
My boss said that too, that it should have just been called Avengers 3.
Let me tell you why it's an Avengers movie, and this will seem pedantic, but it's very important when you have this many characters.
Right, yeah.
Captain America had very little screen time in this movie.
Yes.
Like think about the scene where, and we can get into this scene later, but where Tony Stark goes to Queens to talk to Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Like that's like in the middle of a giant chunk of movie where just Steve Rogers is not in frame.
Right.
And when he is, it's just like, hey, I'm going to pop in and like support this extra scene while Tony Stark's character is developed a little bit.
And I think I agree with everything you just said. Mm-hmm. It should be called like Avengers Civil War, but even that, I feel there were certain moments that were very Cap-centric that didn't need to be, but they were because this was the third Captain America movie.
I got a title for you. Captain America, The Last Avenger.
Well, no, like think about it. This movie, like if this were like Avengers 3, Avengers Civil War.
Yes.
This leads directly into what would be a great Captain America movie.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna be.
That would make like him like not redeeming himself, but like him finding the like this faith, not necessarily in government, but like in people
of
and
his
in like
team.
his team and of himself. Like that's for me the logical next movie.
Definitely,
that's Cap 3
thematically, right?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like the only reason it's called a Captain America movie is because it's a Captain America comic series. Like it's from the Captain America storyline.
Good point.
And the only reason it is because he's supposed to die. If Captain America didn't die, it probably wouldn't have been released as a Captain America comic. So
wait, what are you talking about?
Civil War.
Civil War was an event comic.
Right. It's the death of Captain America. That's why it was a Captain America movie. But he didn't actually die, so making it that was pointless.
But in the comics, it wasn't a Cap comic.
I mean,
it was an all-encompassing like event. So Spider-Man had a Civil War book. Wolverine had his own Civil War book. The Avengers all together had a Civil War book.
Batman had a Civil War.
Well, no. And then there was like the event book proper,
Avenge
Civil
me.
War.
Avenge me.
It wasn't a Cap series. It was a Marvel Universe series.
Right.
So Quackman said the buzzword, so I'm going to jump right into it. Spider-Man.
Oh, hey, Spider-Man. What's up, Spider-Man? What do we all think about Spider-Man in this movie?
I fucking hate him.
Oh, wait.
You hate him because he's not Andrew Garfield. Which, by the way, Tobey Maguire was a better Spider-Man than Andrew
Shut
Garfield.
your
that
poor
is filthy
mouth.
lie. Let me tell you why that's filthy lie.
accurate.
Tobey
And
Maguire,
I will tell you why.
No, Tobey Maguire was a 30-year-old man, while Andrew Garfield was also a 30-year-old man. He had the appearance of somebody who could be in high school.
Andrew Garfield was, what, 33?
Yeah, Andrew Garfield was also...
33
Andrew Garfield was also English.
So, hey guys.
Point made.
Hey
I'm
guys.
done.
How does that work in your favor?
No, because he's a good actor. He can portray an American. He can also
So
portray
is Tom
a high school.
Holland.
Yeah, he was really good. He was amazing. I thought he was great.
It's not an actor.
What are you talking about?
It's not an actor.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As somebody who's not an actor.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's not offend. If Tom Holland ever heard this, that's really mean to say. He is an actor. He's trained. He knows what he's doing. But anyways, the reason that Andrew Garfield, and I don't blame him. I blame the writing.
Sure.
The reason that his version of Spider-Man is not as good as Tom Holland's. Do you remember that scene where he has a basketball and he is fucking with, I assume, Flash Thompson?
That was Flash Thompson. Yeah, they named him.
Yeah. Peter Parker wouldn't do that.
Oh, well.
No, he only has that attitude when he has the mask on because that's when he is liberated from...
Well, hold on 1 minute. This was a very identity-driven movie. The first Amazing Spider-Man was. It was very much about him trying to find this line between this Spider-Man persona and who Peter Parker has
it was
been.
right, and going off that, it was also I felt that scene and the building of arrogance,
Sure,
and hubris directly affected how he handled things and how Uncle Ben ended up. That like
Right,
I
because-
felt that scene was necessary, but
Peter Parker is
Tobey
not.
Maguire did the exact same thing in the cafeteria.
yeah,
Accurate. I haven't seen those movies in like I don't know since they came out.
You don't need to. Wait,
But-
wait. Watch the second one because it's the best. Watch the third one because it's one of the worst movies ever, but in a
yes.
fun way. We talked about
It's
bad,
awful.
awful
let
movies.
me redefine what I mean when I say Tobey Maguire is a better Spider-Man. I mean the writing.
Yeah, okay.
On the whole, for not even Spider-Man 2, which is terrible.
Is it? Doc Ock? That was a really good movie.
The character was great. I mean, like the Peter
No,
side stuff.
we're talking about Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, well, maybe for the time, that was a groundbreaking movie. It was a lot of fun. It, like, really brought Spider-Man and superhero movies into the light. I know Spider-Man, the first one, did, too, but this, like, really helped. Being like, hey, a sequel to this could also be great. I think it was a really good movie, like, all the characters, like, motivations and everything. The third one.
The reason I personally don't like Andrew Garfield's portrayal, and again, I think a lot of it is on the shoulders of the writing and the directing.
Yeah.
However, those are still choices that were made by the actor. To me, it seemed, here is this guy who needs to be super nerdy. Let's make him almost autistic.
What do you mean?
Autistic.
There's a great analysis online. We can put it in the description if you want, of his portrayal of Peter Parker in the first Amazing Spider-Man. He has all of the signs of Asperger's. All of them.
So does Tobey Maguire then. Like, I can see it more clearly as Tobey Maguire's character.
Oh, I can too, but
because
I think that's just the personality of the actor. Yeah.
Maybe, because, and I mean, clearly anything that Mary Jane ever says in those 3 movies, like, obviously you could pick up on social cues about what she really feels, and he does not.
Yeah.
So I get it through that character, not so much of Andrew Garfield.
And also, when I talk about Andrew Garfield, I mean the presentation of the actor on the character. I don't mean those movies, because I think the first movie was really good. A lot of people think that it's not.
The first movie,
Amazing Spider-Man,
okay.
yeah, sorry. The Amazing Spider-Man, I think, was really good. It had maybe like there were some inconsistencies, like with plot and with the character, like translation. But like as a movie, like the tone of it was really like solid.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And like my favorite scene in like in cinema history, like recent cinema history, has always been like when his mask is taken off in front of Captain Stacy.
Yeah.
And like he's like on the floor and he's like, how do I get out of this one? Because like the music and like the way everything's set up, that's just a very powerful scene, because he's like, everything's about like, and then he like turns around and he sees him and he's like, I know like you're gonna freak out that I'm Spider-Man, but you know your daughter, my girlfriend, is in danger and I'm the only one who can save her right now, so you have to let me go.
And I will completely say that Emma Stone really saves that movie.
Oh, and she's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, she saves the second movie too.
Which I want
Which
I will not defend the second movie.
No,
like I do not.
Oh no, that is
like
that
the
is
second, the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
They could have easily made that 2 movies.
Yeah. Made 3 movies.
Though as much as I don't like that movie, and as much as I find Jamie Foxx's portrayal,
it's awful.
of Electro,
it's fun to watch though.
It's literally Jim Carrey.
I want to ask you guys.
Edward Nygma.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
But as odd as I think his portrayal of Electro is,
yeah,
I loved it.
let me tell.
Electro was good.
It was
I
a lot of
love
fun.
Jamie Foxx.
I want to ask you
not.
what you thought about that music. That's like a rap, but like an inner monologue of the character. Like when they're in like Times Square, and like
Yeah, the dubstep.
it's like a dubstep, and he's like, he lied to me, he shot at me, and that kind of thing. I love that. Like I thought that was really interesting and cool. A lot of people thought that was the dumbest thing they've ever seen.
I thought that was. I remember watching it and going, "Okay, that's clever. Okay,
Yeah,
I can get behind that."
I mean, I don't want people to like steal things from art or whatever, but that's like an idea that I think could be used in other places. I thought it was really interesting, and it was like it's rhythmic, so it like provides
reminded me
like
of comic book. So you'll have not the thought bubble but you'll have like the square.
Yeah, the squares, and it's like
and like the color denotes what character.
Okay.
It reminded me a lot of that. I was like, ooh, okay. And
like Electro was like zapping that bleachers that everyone was standing in, and like Spider-Man had to like go through and like instantaneously use the spider sense to be like, how can I save these people? Because like she's about to touch the handle and that's gonna like kill her, so I have to like shoot web over there, and then also that baby over there is
Yeah.
going to fall, so I have to like try to save that baby.
I think
Man.
that's my favorite sequence.
You say you don't like this movie, but
No, I
you
like it.
all
No,
the
I
time.
really like that movie. I'm not going to defend it because it's going to be really hard to.
Anyway, bringing it back to new Spider-Man.
Yes, the Tom Holland. I
Yeah.
think my thoughts. I think Andrew Garfield was awesome and he should be Spider-Man. But barring that, this kid did a fantastic job. Especially, and this was maybe more the writing, but the characterization of Spider-Man in the suit while he's like in the fight at the airport, spot on. He nailed it.
I don't like that.
Like, well, hold on. When Falcon tackled him and they were flying, and he's like, "You have the right to remain silent," despite clearly being like overpowered. Like that was perfect. Like that was Spider-Man.
What I really liked, so I'm a fan of Drake Bell as
Yes.
the voice of Spider-Man.
Yes.
I think they carried that portrayal of Spider-Man into Tom Holland's cinematic portrayal of him. That idea that he is kind of not only just a nerd, but a fanboy of superheroes.
Yeah.
And I really loved seeing that as he looks at these heroes like, oh, this is so cool.
Right,
but at the
right.
same time, he is potentially going to be killed, so he's, fighting.
Yeah.
And I loved, and this is just overall, they did a really good job of capturing how each individual character handles themselves in combat.
yeah,
Right.
I like that.
Like
I believe this is yours, Captain America, holding up the shield.
But yeah, they have.
You broke him.
So like,
I didn't write that. All right.
So,
that
like-
wasn't me. That was McFeely.
as
Almost.
I think I said this last time we did like kind of sort of mention.
Yeah, we
like,
mentioned that some of us had seen it.
and I think I talked about like the pacing maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
I brought
pacing
that
was a
up.
little
I wasn't
weird.
sure if I brought that up on the but like. As much as I was watching it and I'm like, the pacing in this movie is terrible, and I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, let's go. As much as I say that, those moments with Paul Rudd, I was like, I loved every. I was like, oh my god, like this every time he had a line, and it was always like that. It seemed like it was like the cheap joke,
Yeah.
Right.
but like he delivers it
Because that's who
So,
Ant-Man
yeah.
is.
Right.
Or at least this
Well,
is
his I was gonna say
interpretation of
Hank
Ant-Man.
Hank Pym
Yeah.
is a son of a
Oh
bitch.
yeah. Hank
Yeah.
Pym is the worst person. Right.
He is a woman beater.
Yeah.
In the comics, like, he's terrible.
It's been a while since I've seen Ant-Man, but they did. I know they didn't like literally say like, "Hey, yeah, I slapped my wife in the face" in the movie.
No.
Ant-Man, but did they like hint at like?
They hinted that he was emotionally abusive
Yeah, I'm sure they would in
To
a
him-
Marvel movie like
to him and his daughter. And and again, I have not seen Ant-Man since I saw it in theaters.
right.
But did they imply that what happened to his wife happened because of him? Not that he did it on purpose, but like he
It's probably the selfish acts of
right,
him.
like his own,
Yeah.
like it brought on
No,
that. I don't
I'm-
remember.
If I'm remembering it correctly, it was more like like the only way she saw to do their mission, like carry out their mission,
Sure.
was to do this thing. So she
Okay.
like committed the sacrifice play.
Okay.
But like it wasn't because like she was thought she had to or whatever because of
Put
Hank
in a
Pym.
situation
Right,
because
right.
of his arrogance.
I think it was just her being like, "This is the only way out of this. I have no choice."
Okay.
So, having not seen Ant-Man, but seeing Paul Rudd in this
larger
larger
film.
film.
You gotta see Ant-Man.
It's really good.
It's on my to-do list.
I
But
have it. I could bring it over.
what I loved about it was these are such high energy characters. Like everything's so fast and so
Yeah.
like clicky.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paul Rudd has
And
this
then
like,
he's like-
anti-energy comedy.
Yeah,
Ant.
Like it just kind of
Anti.
it
Anti.
sucks in, and it's like, yes, that's hilarious because all this other stuff is going on. It's even better.
Right.
See, I wish I hadn't seen Ant-Man. Not because I don't like
Really?
it. No, here's
Before
why.
Civil War.
Right. I wish I had not seen it,
Mm-hmm.
had seen Civil War, and then went back and saw it. Because when I saw Ant-Man when it first came out, I was like, okay, it's the funnier... to me, it was like, I was sitting there and I'm like, this is good. It's the funny Marvel movie.
Oh, see, that's what I loved
Ant-Man?
about it.
Well, I think
Which is
that-
good. No, it's
Yeah.
fine, but like I was so there was something about it that I was just so incredibly bored. Even though it was good and I enjoyed just about everything about it, I was just so over Marvel.
Wow.
Like I was watching it.
Well,
and, like,
Age of Ultron had just happened.
Sure.
So it was like
Maybe.
that's what I've always been thinking about with Ant-Man, because it was like this huge tentpole Marvel movie, and then it's like literally the smallest movie that they could have. It made sense that they had Ant-Man be the next movie after that. So I think there was going to be like a lot of carryover from that, being like, hey, they fought Ultron, a city was almost leveled, like all these amazing giant things happened. Ant-Man now. So yeah, you were going to get some of that. I thought he was really great in this movie. I thought it was really funny how they had Spider-Man, who's like the insect jokester on one team, and then Ant-Man, who's the insect jokester on the other team, just kind of balance it out a
Wow, I
little
didn't
bit.
even think about that. That's a good idea.
That was really funny.
I love Spider-Man's horrible, like, clearly he is 16 years old Star Wars reference.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was...
Okay,
Yeah.
that is
funny.
the one thing
Yeah.
about the Spider-Man character in this movie that I was 100%. I don't believe you.
Right.
Yes.
Why
Thank
would
you.
Peter, like, not just because he's a nerd, right, but like
That really
Peter, who is so into like meta humor and pop culture in the sense that he consumes it out of love as opposed to I don't know.
Like, Peter Parker is the kind of character that would refer to one of the villains as Darth Vader, just as like a quip.
Yeah, he would be the one in the movie that would reference like Temple of Doom, and some like one of his villains be like, "What?"
Like he
He's
would
he's like
yell
Indiana
"Kali Ma" as he was like
Right.
punching
He's
someone
like
in the heart
Indiana
or
Jones.
something.
Indiana
That's
Jones,
really
man,
funny.
like come on.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, and not only that, it wasn't like an obscure like A New Hope reference or Return of the. It was Empire.
Yeah.
That movie where they do that. You don't even know the
Like, what?
name.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
The best
Bullshit.
movie
Or at least you
in
could
the
say
biggest trilogy
six,
of all time.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I thought that line was really funny, but it did ring kind of false. It was like that really old movie, like as if maybe nobody else had ever heard of it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing. We also, and it's easy to forget because Spider-Man is much older than us, literally. He just got rebooted. This Peter Parker was born in 2000.
Which is one of the reasons, and I told Alex this, why I don't like this Spider-Man.
This is really funny.
And I
when
don't
you
know
said
if it's
this to me.
because I'm getting older and they're trying to demograph their movies to younger people now. I do not want to have sex with this Spider-Man because he's literally 15.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
literally
shouldn't
don't-
sleep with
okay.
underage people.
Right.
Yeah, honestly,
That's
I mean,
right. Yeah.
the big reason that Black Widow's in this movie is so that guys have something, or women have something nice to look at. Like, let's face it, because she's in distress a lot. Like, she doesn't really aid any of the team. But
Right. That's actually something that I brought up with you early, when we first got out of the movie. I was like, did you notice like a very kind of anti-feminist vibe from this movie? And I'll tell you what I mean by that, because I feel like if I don't like clarify, I'm going to get in trouble for this. But all right, so you have Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, and she's, by the orders of Tony Stark, a man, locked up in this tower and held by Vision, who, yes, is a synthetic computer being, but a male character, a male presence, who's literally holding her there. You see in that scene where she tries to go to the store to get ingredients, and he like grabs her arm and is like, "I'm afraid I can't let you leave, not for your safety, but for their safety," and everything. And then Hawkeye, a male character, had to come in and try to rescue her. And then Vision and Hawkeye like fight over her for her freedom.
and my response to that was, she is the most powerful Avenger, and that's why.
I think if
Whether
you were
it's women or not.
I think if you were to put Scarlet Witch and Vision up against each other, and not in a
Which would win.
and not in a like a writer, like this is a movie kind of way, but in like a who would win kind of way.
Like a screw attack death battle?
I don't know what that is.
They did that in the movie. And
Yes.
Scarlet Witch won.
Yes, but that was being written by somebody.
I mean,
Well,
well,
also-
everything's going to be written
Alex,
by something.
how would it
Well,
not
yeah.
be written
No,
by
I
someone?
I know that.
So
I understand
Scarlet Witch
that.
won because in the context, Vision has one of the Infinity Stones in him, and she happens to be connected to that one. I don't know wholly if that's accurate in the comics as well.
No.
But that is why she was able to beat him, only because of that connection.
I do feel like if it were any other Infinity Stone, she would have been able to do the same thing.
I don't think so. I think she has a connection with that one.
I got
particularly.
the impression it had nothing to do with the Infinity Stone.
Me
So-
either. I literally think it's Vision
They-
and
yeah.
him being as weak as he really
I don't
is.
have-
I know it was the Infinity Stone on his forehead
Right.
that got lit up, so she was
don't-
like
but I think-
channeling.
but
But
I
I
think-
don't think. Yeah, I don't
Right.
think it was.
I think that's because
specifically-
that gives him
Right.
his sentience.
Yes,
Like,
I
so,
agree. Right.
Because when the others get mind controlled, it's their eyes. So it's what we perceive as their sentience is people through their. So it's just another
it's
visual
really smart.
representation.
Right.
But anyway, she is the most powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Do we want if we want to get into
but going off of what you said, I think there is not an anti-feminist tone to this movie, but I definitely think there is a lack of empowerment.
Yes.
Yeah,
in the
I can
movie.
see that.
Yeah.
Where it is, I think, completely unintentional.
There are 3 times that Black Widow is damsel in distress and someone else has to save her.
Right.
But the time you just noted with Scarlet Witch,
Right.
I didn't get that because she's the one that gets them out.
Yeah. Well, she does get the twist on him,
because Vision has Hawkeye in the hold, and he's like, you can't save her,
Right?
And he's like, you can't get out of here. He's like, you're right, she can.
Yeah.
She takes agency, she takes control, she gets them out, she overpowers the male figure.
That is true.
Well,
right,
and
right.
also, I didn't quite get the anti-feminist thing because I saw something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why until I started doing a little bit of research and learned about Adam Warlock, who we briefly discussed earlier.
Right, it was in the cold open for this episode.
I think they're going to have Scarlet Witch take that role on as like this lead against Thanos in the Infinity Wars.
Ooh, sure.
Because we see her, and she's like in Age of Ultron, she's powerful, but she doesn't really have sense of direction or purpose.
Right.
We see her gain that a little bit. This movie comes along, and she's kind of treated like a child.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're part of the team, but you're also like, you're the baby.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she comes of age and beats Vision to assert, I will do what I think is right. I don't need your direction. I'm an adult.
Right, so this could
And
be
I
her
think it's a
like coming into
progression.
power and like
Right.
growing up as because she is very even Cap says it himself, like when Tony says like, yeah, we're keeping her in Stark Tower, and he's like, come on, she's a kid. Like it's clear that
How
even
old is Scarlet Witch?
I think she's meant to be in her early mid-20s in this film.
yeah.
I got the impression that she was like 18.
That actress does
Well,
not.
the
No,
actress,
she's
right,
not.
right,
Like the actress is 25.
Okay, she's not
26.
even portraying an 18.
in Godzilla
Yeah.
she had like children and
Yeah. Like I think she's my age.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
She looks about 30.
She does have a very
And I think that's the makeup because
Maybe.
you see her in other things, and
I'd
she
have
doesn't.
to. I don't. I
And she
don't
doesn't
really know who
look
she is.
that old.
right.
There's
must
something
be that
about because the Wanda, that's a wig. That's not her hair.
Mm-hmm.
There's something
that
about
makes
the
sense.
wig and the darker makeup
Well, you
on
can
her very
clearly
pale
see
skin.
all
yeah.
of her wrinkles that she has around her eyes.
Yeah. But going off of like her being treated as a child, that is what I got out of that scene.
Okay. Yeah.
I think because, and I know this is like a really sensitive topic.
Yeah,
but,
go
like,
ahead.
because I think because especially our generation wants to be so inclusive,
and
we don't want to offend anybody
We,
that
like,
we're
look for
that
problems.
we're also hypersensitive to it.
Yeah.
So I think it was more about treating her as a child,
And you
and
saw
she
it as...
and she happened to be female.
Right,
Right.
because I didn't even think
But-
that it was
But
as a woman.
There
Like,
there are tons of like just infographics and charts and things online where it's like, yeah, there are scenes where it's not because you're a female you need to be treated like, but it's because you're young or because you're
Right.
in danger
Right.
or whatever.
Sure.
But if you look at all of them, it's like the percentage of them that happen to be female characters in that position is like 90% or something.
Right.
And
again,
it's
I'll,
like,
I'll bring up, like, I think Black Widow is the worst thing for womankind. Like,
That- yeah.
she is nothing I want.
She's getting her own movie.
Of course she is.
when?
Good.
When does that happen?
I don't know, but they just said because Inhumans is off the docket. They have room for
they
something.
took Inhumans off?
They took Inhumans off.
Wow.
Let me explain why I think that's a great thing for the character of Black Widow. I don't think Scarlett Johansson does a bad job. I understand her choices. I support her choices in the character. But I do think that she is a little weak only because she is surrounded by the greatest heroes. And she is only... like, not even Hawkeye, who has his tech.
Right.
She is only
Only
human.
human.
Yes.
And so seeing her
exactly.
out of that context
And
will
even-
show...
And even more than that, like, and we get to explore a little bit of this in Ultron. Apparently, again, we're never gonna get it because Joss Whedon is out of the Marvel Cinematic.
Yeah, he's gone.
Whatever. But also because Marvel is very much we're releasing it. There was a lot on the cutting room floor of scenes that were I almost said Scarlet Witch.
Black
Were
Widow.
Black Widow, like, origin stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's that scene where she's talking to Banner,
Yes.
About
where the way the scene is cut, by the way, this, like, if you want to talk about, like, anti-feminist, here's, like, this is a scene to look at.
oh, I know exactly
Right.
what you're gonna say. And I
The
told
way
this.
the scene is cut, she says, and I'm paraphrasing,
Right.
but, like, what everybody, viewers, or listeners, like, watch the scene.
I love
like,
how you like lean in and you're talking
Yeah.
to the microphone when
well,
you do
that's,
that.
That's my
there's
that's
the
my
audience
in.
right
Like
there.
that's
Yeah.
my in.
It's like, listen, you audience.
Right.
Shut up! He's gonna say something really
So
good, and I'm gonna
right.
backpack it.
So, she's talking to Banner, and Banner's having a hard time with being the Hulk and being a monster, and sorry,
I'm sorry.
no, sorry, you're so good. Like I
top
thought
one.
you were trying to get
No.
I was like, what?
No.
Yes,
The
yes.
top one.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I'm trying to decide what snacks I want over here.
So
Trying to be sneaky about it.
So they're
Whoops.
talking about like identity and monsters, and the way the scene is cut, Black Widow essentially says, "I can't have children
Because I'm
that
sterile."
makes me a monster."
Whoa,
I
whoa,
would
whoa,
disagree.
whoa,
No,
whoa,
no,
whoa, whoa.
that is how the scene is cut. Now, before you jump on me, let me finish.
Yes.
That's how the scene is cut.
End the episode right here.
Joss Whedon has spoken out against the
Oh
movie,
yeah,
saying
I've seen
Yeah.
him be
that
like, whoa.
scene
Not how I-
is not what she's referring to
I want to.
in the
No,
version of
neither.
the script and how we shot it. She's saying she's a monster because she doesn't feel guilty for the people she's killed
Yeah.
because she knows it's done good. But that was cut out because a lot of her origin was cut out. So they're like, oh, well, she's a woman and she can't have children and we're in this house, so let's make it about her womanhood.
Right.
That's what's so
And
anti-feminist.
yes, that's the
is
problem.
that
Yeah,
the
well,
only way that you could hurt a woman is to take away the fact that she can't have children? Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
and let's assume like she wants children
Yeah.
in the first place.
Right.
There are millions of women out there who
Anyway,
never
what's up,
choose
Jordan?
that.
You don't have to raise your hand. That looks kind of stupid.
Well,
So
hold on. We have to know that he wants to talk.
Right,
I,
I don't-
I want to defend the raising your hand thing.
Are you
this
kidding
is a
me?
topic
You go
for
like
another
this,
quiz
well, I
so
don't,
do I.
I don't want to cut anyone off, but
Right.
I also want to make sure that I get this out there. Because
Plus, we've been
Definitely.
taught to raise your hands if you want attention
We're adults,
from
guys.
birth.
Guys,
Still,
adults.
But-
that's just in our programming.
But so you having that context, yes, I understand that that's a weird cut to make, to literally change the meaning of a line that the writers and the director meant to be different. But from the acting, I didn't get that it was I don't have a uterus, therefore I'm a monster. It was more the reflection, like the feeling of guilt, that primal guilt of what we've done. That's why, like, it is very much exactly what she was supposed to say, but you see it in the acting more than the lines aren't there, but you can see it in her that she means she has guilt and therefore she's a monster. That just happens to be the specific guilt that she's thinking about at that moment. Which, yes, because she's a woman and it's that, it must be but it's about guilt, not the inability to have a
Again,
child.
but the way they cut it, it's not I can't have kids, I'm a monster. They literally like the line before, she's like I had to make the decision.
Right, and she regrets that decision, and that's why she's a monster. The regret and the guilt, not that she can't have children. That's what
Which
they
is-
were. That's
which
what
is
I
what
think they were
probably
going
they
for.
wrote. But at least
right.
other
but
people...
in the cut, that is 100% how it reads.
And I didn't get that at all. I got the
Obviously,
other
if
thing.
Joss
I didn't
Whedon
get that
felt
either.
that he had to
Yeah.
talk about it, obviously other people interpreted that way too. So you didn't. That's great.
right,
you
right.
did.
Hold on.
It's
I'm sure,
subjective,
sure.
I'm sure Joss Whedon didn't come out and be like, "Hey, I know people are going to say this about the movie. I just want to
Right,
defend
I'm
it." I'm
sure
sure it
people-
was in response to people.
No,
being
it was
like,
in response.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
like, hey,
because
like,
Black
look,
Widow had. I mean, Scarlett
Or-
Johansson had to come out and
Yeah.
say stuff about it too.
Yeah.
That probably came about because when Age of Ultron came out, Chris Evans and I can't even remember who else called
Jeremy Renner.
Black Widow character, not Scarlett Johansson, a slut, or they called her that.
Maybe not Jeremy Renner. That's a different story.
No, but it was like them goofing around that she's like the only girl there and she's this huge slut.
no, that was Jeremy Renner.
I thought that was a whole other thing.
That was the same incident. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like goofing around during an interview and called her that.
I didn't even know about that.
But it was what more said, like they were joking, like, oh yeah, she's like,
Yeah,
she's being
she-
cute with Hawkeye and being
Yeah.
cute with because this was right after
That's
this was after Winter Soldier came
Okay,
out.
yeah.
Now, okay, Ultron was like chronologically. I'm trying to remember.
Winter
Ultron
Soldier was first, and
was
then Age of Ultron.
Then Ultron.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to have a separate podcast, like in the future, about
Okay.
strong female characters
Yes.
and what that can mean.
The fact that we have to
Yes.
have that is stupid.
No.
Well,
I disagree.
I think like that's like making up for like the folly of like a male-driven
Sure.
industry.
But let's not have like the men gang up on the only
No,
female
no,
on this
I don't
podcast
know.
and be like, you feel wrong about this. Let us
No,
tell
I don't
you.
feel that way.
No,
at all.
I'm defending my intention.
Yes,
Not,
okay.
like,
Right.
I want to have a podcast about that because I think a lot of people think about what a strong female character is incorrectly.
I agree.
I don't
agree.
even think that you need to think of a female character being strong.
But there
Thank
is,
you. I
got
but
you.
there is a
Why
difference.
can't you just have a strong character?
Like, you couldn't just write a strong character whose name is, for example, like Sam, something completely ambidextrous,
You completely
ambisextrous, and then like
Androgynous.
androgynously.
Thank
It's
you.
the word.
Ambisexual.
ambisextrous, and then like decide if you want to cast that as a female or man, because like if it's a female character, like lines will be delivered a little bit differently.
No,
You
you
don't
don't,
think so?
have to.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, I would agree that that's true, but I
Yeah.
think that in general you should approach characters, and this, you know what, this is a whole other podcast.
But it is. I said I want to do this in the future, and it's like, let's get into it. We need to talk about Civil War and Marvel movies,
That's
specifically.
what we've been doing.
So, what was your favorite part of Civil War? Or what did you like best about it?
Oh man, this got way off track.
Yeah,
We're still
we
there.
had
Oh,
that
you
question.
know what? You know who we haven't talked about? Black Panther.
Yes.
Black Panther
Oh,
was awesome.
No, absolutely no complaints. Loved Black Panther.
That was part of what I was gonna
Segue
talk about.
into.
No, so like, no, please, like,
we
say
broke-
everything
No,
you're gonna
that's
say.
all I have to say.
Like,
He was great.
okay.
Love the characterization. Love the outfit. Love everything.
I loved the subtle hints at his magical abilities without talking about it because he
Yeah.
has his own movie coming
see,
out.
that's the thing.
Yep.
The way they set him up, I don't know how they're gonna approach him. Like, clearly, there's gonna be some sort of like magical stuff, but like,
Right.
it seemed to me they approached him very much like the mantle is also whoever is the king. Mate, like.
Well, I got the impression that Black Panther, the warrior, was like not passed down generation to generation, but was more like a whoever has it at the time. So he could be Black Panther and not king, which he was at the beginning. I feel before his father died.
His
Right.
father had the ring.
His father, but is the ring the panther?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you clearly saw him pass it
Like,
on.
and that's the thing.
Right,
There's
right.
a shot of
Him putting the ring on. I saw that.
Well, no, of his father
Uh-huh.
having the ring.
Okay. Okay. I don't know that much about Black Panther.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, it is. Traditionally in the comics, it is also whoever is king, because it's seen as a warrior king,
Yeah.
a defender king.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like he was Black Panther and now he's also king. Like now he's two things.
Right.
Okay, I thought he was an amazing character. I like really loved like what his arc was in the movie, where he was like, I'm gonna kill who the person who killed my father, and then at the end he's like, look at all these things that vengeance has done.
Yes.
I'm not giving into that. Like, you're not only am I not going to kill you, I'm not going to let you kill yourself.
I have two favorite moments, like two favorite like. This is why this movie needs to exist. This is why I'm glad I saw this movie.
Right.
The first is going back to the emotional climax with Tony and Cap, but it's a little bit before the line that you brought up.
Which was that? He killed
He
my
killed my
yeah.
mom.
I've never felt so much dread and suspense and hurt from one of the shortest lines in the film.
Uh-huh.
I know that road.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. See, and that's the thing. Like maybe like I had looked away at one point, or like I wasn't like that. Just wasn't something I was focusing on.
This
like,
is what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
This first.
Like I wasn't focusing on that moment specifically in the film because I was focusing on other things, and like maybe it was just sensory, whatever.
You like glance away for a minute.
Because I've heard other people like, oh no, like I got that before Tony got it, but like I didn't when I first saw it. I've seen it twice. When I first saw it, I like the second Tony said it was like I was discovering it with him, and I was like, oh, no.
Jordan, did you see this movie twice?
No, I've only seen
Neither
it
have I.
once.
So,
Okay.
as being a person who's only
So
seen
1,
one,
1,
Right.
2, 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And so like everything after that, just
yeah.
that, and then everything after that saying,
"Oh my God, the shield to the chest." I forgot that
Oh,
Tony's
that
heart.
part.
I forgot that he fixed his heart thing. So when he
Right.
smashed, I was like, he
I
died.
know. I was
That's
like,
how
he's
they
literally
killed him.
dead.
well, that's the thing. At that point, I remembered, oh, he fixed his heart.
I didn't even think
But
about it at the time.
but it was
I
when
thought he was literally dead.
it was when Bucky Winter Soldier was grabbing onto it and pulling it out. My first thought was, he's literally ripping his heart out.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Kalima,
Because
there we go. That's where Kalima
I
comes
don't I kind of want the way they did it. I'm okay with, but when I was watching it, even the second time, I was like, I want Tony to die.
Really?
Not because I thought he was wrong. I was behind Tony 100%
Samesies.
in this movie. Maybe that's, and I think maybe like as I've gotten older,
Now-
like, I think it's an age thing too. 'cause,
Now,
like,
when you say you were behind Tony Stark, you mean like the Sokovia Accords you think should have been signed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me ask
See,
you
I
what
don't
that
think
would
of
have
it all.
changed at any point throughout the entire, like everything we've seen so far. What would the Sokovia Accords have fixed?
what? Okay.
Oh, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, zero things.
well, no, but it's the
You're so honest.
it's the act of responsibility and taking
Right.
Sure.
responsibility and accountability.
But I don't think the Avengers were ever devoid of responsibility. We haven't talked about it because nobody brought it up.
Well, that's the thing. At that point, they had no regulation, and I think they did. Like it shouldn't have been America. It shouldn't have been clearly like the Security Council,
Right.
But like the United Nations, a public, representative government,
yeah.
like should be in charge. Now, I think at one point, I think the Soviet Corps may have gone a little too far.
Maybe
A
yeah.
little bit, and like we say when you go and then you go. There
Yeah.
are just some things where they gotta go.
Right.
That's
like
exactly what I said.
yeah, it's like you want to wait for all the bureaucracy and red tape and all.
But
that.
that's the thing. I even feel with the Sokovia Accords, like if they did that, it'd be like no, like clearly, like if you needed to go, you needed to go. Like
Right.
that's
This,
But if they were to say don't go,
this council made
Yeah.
a decision in Avengers 1,
uh,
and they
Yes.
decided to
Right.
nuke Manhattan.
right? This is the
That-
same people that send a nuclear missile to
no,
a part
no,
of
no,
no,
that
they're
is
not.
not the same people.
That
That's
is a
the
totally
security.
different group.
That is
That's Shield.
no.
That was
that was the Security Council that governed Shield.
You don't
Okay,
think-
but they could easily make that exact same decision.
This has been like the narrative
But
trope
that's-
from the beginning of
but
like
that's the thing. They wouldn't have access to nuclear weapons they would literally just be like superheroes on the collar, superheroes off the leash. Like, okay, we're accepting your collateral damage. Go do what you got to do.
Okay.
But it's also,
Yeah.
but it's basically saying, when is it desperate enough that we need heroes, and when are heroes actually hurting more than they're helping? That's what they wanted with the Soviet Accord or
Sokovia
Accords. Thank you.
And talking about the Security Council, that just think about thematically,
Yeah.
like the difference between the two. The Security Council was a not only a secret organization, but in the film they were literally like blotted out, shadowy
Right.
figures.
And
this is the United Nations. They were operating in the public, so it was.
here's something that I don't think you know about. So Powers Booth was one of the
Sure.
people you probably
Yes.
knew that, but Powers Booth was in the Agents of Shield TV show.
Yeah.
He was. He played a bad guy. He was, and it was the same character, and he was like a follower of this ancient evil Inhuman whose name is Hive, whose whole thing is like he wants to come back and like kill a bunch of people and be evil, basically. But this guy is a follower of him. He's been Hydra essentially from the beginning, and this guy was like in charge of what the World Council or whatever it is. And so, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, shed a little bit of light, hilariously enough, on the shadowy character, literally. He was actually a bad guy, like, with the evil organization.
Yeah.
So that's something I think we need to consider, too.
I'm gonna switch, and I want to talk about maybe one of the last things that we can talk about is not Civil War.
I wanted to talk about the
oh, go ahead, I'm
I Know
sorry.
That Road thing. Because, you, Connor, you saw this movie before I did.
Okay.
And you, like, told
Yeah.
me, you told me about, like, you told me, like, there was a twist in the movie. And it was like it's like one of the best twists in like film history or something.
Like yeah,
that.
I said it was like there's an emotional twist.
Right, and I
was,
said
like,
don't, and I was like don't don't tell me what it is, and you're like
Yeah.
I won't. But you were like I know that road, like you just said that line.
No, I didn't.
You did. I know you did. I was there.
No,
You did because
I am the worst.
I told Dad about it after. I was like Connor told me this, and
I am the worst person.
no,
because
because I didn't have any context for it. I didn't know
Right,
what it
you were
means.
looking at me like making the reference to me, and I was like, yeah, love that line.
And I was
I
like,
am the worst person.
and I didn't get it. Like when I saw like the first scene where Bucky was like taking out the car, I didn't make the association. So you didn't like ruin that for me. But
Wow.
I do want to say the twist of Bucky having killed Howard and what's her name was not
What is her name, please?
Nina.
Thank you.
Nina.
Stop that.
Was not an actual twist.
No.
This was something that it wasn't specifically stated, but it could have been inferred because in Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, we knew that Hydra took out the Starks.
Yes.
We knew that it was Hydra that deliberately had them assassinated. It's not a huge leap to assume that it was Bucky because narratively, that just makes no sense.
And that's why I didn't say narrative twist. I
Sure.
said emotional.
Sure.
Right, because it goes from this, like, feuding, almost sibling rivalry to this whole other level.
I am going to kill you.
Right. That was, I think, one of the cleverest like instances of something becoming something else, if you could call that. It's pretty much a twist.
Yeah.
Because this is something that a lot of people have said this about comic books. Like most of the fighting is about trivial things. Like even in the books, like a lot of times when people are fighting,
Occasionally, yeah.
it could be resolved just by. Batman v Superman was the most blatant version of this.
Oh
where it's
my
like,
god.
just
If you're
say
gonna
three
make-
words to each other and the fighting stops. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to be like, stop and listen to me. Don't say that. Just say the thing. Like don't waste everyone's
If-
time.
Like says my mom.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that?
If you are gonna mention Batman
Batman v
versus
Superman.
The second this movie started, I leaned over and I said, "Oh, so we're having the exact same plot as
There were.
Batman versus Superman."
Now, obviously, there's like the fighting between the heroes, and like Batman v Superman and Civil War both had that. Beyond that, there are a ton of similarity, and I didn't even pick up on this until you brought it up to me. There's a ton of like this is the same movie, and I hate to make that comparison because it's so.
they both have
It's so
mommies
easy.
involved.
Well, not even just that. I think it's a classic example of here is something done well, here is something done not well.
Yeah.
Or less well,
Well,
right?
and even then, even further on that, there's this idea that unoriginal art is bad art, but the simple fact of the matter is,
Nothing's original.
every
Right.
story's been
Absolutely.
told. Like,
I just the point of like civilians like finally reaching out and being like, "Okay, can you enough
Right,
is enough."
right.
Yeah. Like this is what the real world would be like if these heroes were around destroying
Existed in
things,
our
and
world,
like people would be like, you can't just keep destroying things. This was like the reality being brought in to both sides at the same time. I don't know if that was a conscious decision on anyone's part or if it just happened.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
sure it's not.
That I kind of wondered about Civil War. Clearly, in the Marvel universe, I mean, they even reference it in video.
Yeah.
In the film, New York, DC, Sokovia,
yeah.
all these things.
And then there's
But the big complaint, one of the big complaint of Man of Steel is Metropolis gets leveled.
Right. This was not unique to Man of Steel,
Right.
though.
But a criticism of the movie was the next scene doesn't deal with aftermath. It's
Right.
everything's fine.
Yeah.
And so I think, consciously or not, this movie picked up on the criticism of that film and went, oh, what can we... But that's, again, like, I don't think that's inherently copying or that's, like...
I don't know.
So I think that's how, like, the plot of Collateral Damage and
Can you
Relevancy...
imagine if Batman v Superman came out after Civil War? It would have tanked even more than
Oh
it
yeah.
already did.
People would be like, it's just ripping off Civil War.
Right.
Like
Even though
Yeah,
this-
but people
yeah.
will never say that Civil War is ripping off.
No.
Yeah.
Well, not even just... like
It's
this,
because Marvel versus DC, everyone hates on DC movies, which they're not giving us any reason
Right.
not to.
Right.
And that's the thing. BVSDOJ was written before Civil War was even... it
Yes,
was...
we knew about
we knew-
Dawn of Justice
yeah.
for like 5 years. Like
Yeah,
since
and
Man
the-
of Steel came out in 2013.
Yes.
And
The year...
Since that, they've been talking about it.
Well, it was the same Comic-Con. It was released in June. Comic-Con was in August.
Oh, wow.
They announced BVSDOJ
Wow.
at Comic-Con.
And we probably just never forgot about it because they filmed most of it in Detroit. So
Right. And
Yeah.
we're from Michigan, so
Yeah.
spoilers. It's actually something...
We're from Michigan.
That's a really funny point that you made because Man of Steel came out in 2013, the year before the Avengers came out.
Yeah.
And I made the comparison when the Avengers came, like the day I saw the movie, which is like opening night. I was like, man, New York just got leveled in this movie. Like, they were tearing, like, if they had set up, like, a graham cracker city and just, like, sent a cat through it, it would have, like, just brought
Can
the
we
whole...
make that?
That would be
sounds
awesome.
hilarious.
Right, that'd be a great video to make. But, like, it would have, like, they just leveled the city. Like, those buildings were just falling to pieces. And I didn't get the same feeling from Man of Steel, even though everyone had a complaint about how they just destroyed Metropolis. I always thought, like, the Avengers was worse. Like, they did worse to the city.
Well,
Like,
and I think it's because the Avengers, like, even during the Avengers, were very conscious that they were going somewhere with the fact that things got broken.
yeah.
They knew that was going to be a thing long ahead of time. They're like, we're getting ready for that.
And you got to think about the universes that were established. So, like, superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have been established. Iron Man was a thing.
Right.
Cap was kind of a thing. Like, Hulk was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, all these people were a thing. S.H.I.E.L.D. was a thing, though not public, but, like, the existence of
Right.
these threats kind of existed. And so it was more seen like a... And I think, okay, I also think people are very quick to, like, point out, like, 9/11, like, imagery.
Well,
Guys, every time a building falls, they're not invoking 9/11. Buildings fall. I'm sorry.
Every
But-
time a boat gets blown up, it's not Pearl Harbor, but
Like,
but
it's
can,
right.
it just
can we
seems
talk
like-
about the amount of, like, hey, buildings are being blown up
Yeah.
before 2001 versus, I mean, after 2001? Because
Well, yeah, I think the quickest, because comedy and tragedy share the same, like, emotional path. The
Yeah.
quickest thing from here to here.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
And, like, after 9/11, like, that is terrorism. That is horror. That is,
Right.
like, so,
Well,
I mean, yes,
because
there
it
is
was-
that, but I don't think I think it's more subconscious now. So, like, I remember when Winter Soldier came out, the building in D.C. that got all fucked up.
Right,
Like,
right.
9/11. I'm like, not only does that not
No,
look like
not
the
at
Twin Towers,
Well, right.
like, it didn't even get, like,
it just like crumbled.
it
I'm not-
blew up.
I'm
like,
not sure that that's, like, the most important thing here. I think the idea is, like, giant infrastructure that, like,
Sure.
not only is it symbolism, like, man created this thing,
Yeah.
now it's being brought down,
Yeah.
but it's also, like, just the loss of lives
Yeah.
in such like a inescapable level. I think that's really the symbolism and the comparison there.
Speaking of loss of lives,
Yeah.
what I want to talk about is like, how do you feel that your superheroes were basically defeated by a human?
Loved it.
I loved it too.
Loved it.
Not only did he win, he was also, like, I don't want to say he was right. Like, that's probably the wrong comparison to make here, but, like, he won. Like, he won this movie. Like, his whole thing was, I'm going to have the event, because if I were to try to kill... So many people...
He even says,
Yeah,
I
so many
knew I
people-
couldn't kill them.
Right, so many people have tried, I don't have powers, I don't have anything, I'm just a dude, I couldn't destroy the Avengers. You know who can destroy the Avengers? The Avengers. So let's have that happen.
And they couldn't even really do that.
Well,
like physically.
Okay, nobody died in the movie, but, like, they crippled Rhodey, and
Who's
they
a human.
well, yeah. So
I mean, he's essentially another Iron Man.
well, let's take a look at the heroes of the movie. They're all humans. Like Ant-Man, he's a human with a suit. Tony Stark is a human with a suit. Spider-Man.
I mean,
well,
hell, he's the only one with real
No,
powers.
He's a quote unquote mutant, which I know is.
Spider-Man's not technically a mutant.
Because he
Yes.
wasn't. Well, he wasn't born.
He wasn't born with the
So then,
with what would in the comics be the X gene.
But
Okay.
I was assuming, like, mutation. Well, right, with mutations,
It's from birth as to where
Right,
what
it
happened
was-
to him was
it
a science.
was just a
result.
spontaneous.
It was retroactive.
Technically
Yeah.
a mutation, like, as far
Yeah.
as what the definition of the
Yeah.
word is, but, like, as far as, like, mutants in the Marvel universe, that's not Peter Parker.
Gotcha.
But he does have extraordinary abilities, like, inherent to him.
Right, like Scarlet Witch or Vision. Or
Scarlet
well,
Witch,
Vision's
Vision,
not a
but
human,
but
in
like
the comics, they find the X gene in him.
really?
Right, and
Yeah.
yeah, that
In
makes
Spider-Man?
sense because
It's
Deadpool's considered
In the-
a mutant.
yeah.
He wasn't born with the gifts either.
Oh, right.
okay,
I was
so
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
I
I
didn't know.
retract every statement I've made about Spider-Man not being a mutant.
wow. Okay,
Lawyered.
I didn't know that either. But yeah, Iron Man. People can talk about Captain America. I think he has extraordinary abilities. I think that's open
Yes,
to
because
interpretation.
Super soldier serum.
He
like-
is.
Zero.
He is the peak of human ability.
Right,
Yes.
I think he goes beyond that. Like, I think, like, if you were to take a human... That's a weird sound.
Because
Sorry,
Batman is the peak of human ability, and Batman could not, again, the crossing universes, but like
Right.
Batman could not do what.
Well,
Captain America
Batman's the
does.
peak of human ability without steroids.
Well, yeah. So
You don't know if Batman doesn't take steroids.
so enhancements.
Right.
So beyond, yeah.
Did you see Christian Bale like a year before he did Batman
yeah,
Begins?
I did. And
He
said that it was donuts.
donuts.
Yeah,
Delicious.
that's what put on.
What
the
is he, a
plate.
cop?
Well, that was for.
Well, kind of.
Oh my god! And then right before he did Dark Knight Rises, he did American Hustle, where he gained like 100 pounds.
He was a fat guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He
not a
probably
fat suit. That's real.
Right, right.
Those donuts.
That
and he
dude.
just stopped working out and just
Maybe,
ate
yeah.
donuts.
He was just like, I'm just gonna watch my movies back to back, watch The Dark Knight over and over again, eating these donuts.
No, he watched probably Wolverine
he did
Origin
the-
and was like, "Man, I want to be that blob."
What company made Batman?
Which one?
All of them.
DC.
DC. All right, we're not talking about that
Sorry.
anymore. Marvel.
No,
Civil
it's
War.
the reverse Chris Pratt.
It's the
Oh my
reverse Chris
gosh.
Pratt. Right.
He
right.
is so jacked.
Oh,
Like,
man.
Jesus.
I love Chris Pratt.
I cannot believe it's going to be literally 12 months from now until Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Ugh.
So,
It's
I want
it's
him so
May of
bad.
2017.
I feel like he's getting another movie out between them, though.
Oh, he probably is. Yeah. They're doing another
Is he
Lego
filming
movie, right?
it?
Not just Batman.
Indiana Jones.
I don't know.
Well, he's
Wasn't
not
he
going to be Indiana
rebooting?
Jones. He's not going to be Indiana Jones. They cast him as like some dude that I've never heard of.
Oh, well, who's casted Indiana Jones? Anyway,
Shia LaBeouf.
Shut your whore mouth.
Shooting myself. In
Actual
the face.
cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
We don't need to talk about this.
So Marvel.
Harrison Ford would never let that.
Anyway, going back to the question,
Again.
my favorite part of Civil War
Didn't you say yours?
was the
already?
airport scene.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we talked about this before or after we started because we were talking about this before we started recording. But did I talk about how it was during the podcast how it was necessary to have this movie because of all the characters that they brought?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's why I think the airport scene is my favorite scene.
Did we even get to? Well, yes, we did. We got to one of yours.
Oh, to one of mine.
Yeah.
So before I get into my second, I want to address the airport scene.
The airport scene, which is awesome.
Which is great. There's one moment though that I think in screenwriting and in filming and in editing, everyone was like, "Yeah, okay," but then after it came out, people were like, "Oh no!"
I might know what you're talking about.
So Tony brought a 16-year-old
Nope.
to a fight that he probably thought wasn't going to get as violent as it did.
Right, right,
Okay, but
He
he
just
brought
wanted
a 16-year-old. He brought a minor to this fight.
right.
Spider-Man is fighting Cap.
Yes.
Spider-Man ends up under what's it called?
Whatever tower.
Winning?
The boarding ramp.
Yeah,
thing.
the boarding ramp. The
Right, right.
Cap drops it on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't die. Yeah.
And well, no, it's not that he doesn't die, but like he catches it. Okay,
Yes,
but if you watch the fight with Spider-Man primarily fights with Falcon and
Yeah.
Bucky.
Sure.
He fights a little bit with Cap,
Yeah.
but he does not demonstrate that much strength.
Right. This is actually something that I've noticed.
Cap,
So
dro-
you're saying
Cap
that
dropped it.
he was
like,
ready to kill a
So
child.
again, I think in the
Well,
writing,
how would he know that he's a child?
he says, "You got heart,
Yeah.
kid."
Right.
And not in like
After.
Well, a lot of points being made here. I want to talk about this. Has kind of been a thing because we just watched the Avengers last night,
Yeah.
so this is fresh in my mind. There's a scene where it's either Captain America or Iron Man. I can't remember which one. Fighting against Thor. It's like in the park where he says, "Shakespeare in the park. Does Mother knowest you're
It's
wearing her
Iron
drapes?"
an
Man.
improvised line.
Well, I know that line is Iron
that
Man.
entire movie was improvised. Come on.
It had to have been.
Which brings
But-
me to Tom Holland, which we'll get to in a second.
There's a moment where like it's Thor who's like standing against a tree, and either Cap or Iron Man like jumps into him and like pushes him. And I think it's Iron Man kicks him through a tree and like breaks right through and pushes him. At that point, that was like the beginning of the fight. They don't know that this person is a super
A
person,
god. Yeah.
right? They just think, oh, here's a weird person who just showed up.
Yeah,
He flew. He
They
flew
knew
in
he was a
well, not just that, but
on
like
lightning.
I'm
like
just
Coulson
saying-
has that, like, and Tony like going into like stuff read up on all of like the Avenger files.
Tony knew about the Avengers coming in.
like,
The
yeah.
Captain saw him be Thor.
Sure, like, but flying doesn't mean super strength.
Well, no,
And I'm
Well,
saying,
that's
and I'm,
fair.
and I'm saying, like, my point is, like, there are so many moments in all of these movies where people don't know that the other person can survive what they're being put through, they're just kind of assuming that they will. And I think we just have to go in blind to that kind of thing because like it's just they're going to punch each other, they're going to fly into and through buildings.
You said that most of these characters seriously had to have telepathy because they can see where things are coming.
That was the
nowhere.
point I wanted to make. There's the staircase scene. You guys know what I'm talking about in Civil War,
Winter Soldier.
right? With Winter Soldier and Cap, and they're like they're fighting, and Cap doesn't want Bucky to kill anyone, so he like pushes him off the rails, and Cap catches him and is like, "Come on, dude!" Like that was a great line, but. There's a moment in that scene where it's Bucky, Winter Soldier, and he like grabs onto the railing and like jumps, and like the railing curls under him, and he like goes down 2 stories and kicks a dude who's like coming through an open doorway. But there's no way he would have known that there was a person walking through that doorway at that moment. And this is just something that I noticed like throughout the entire movie. There's so many moments where these people had to be able to like see a minute or two into the future to know that what they're going to do is going to lead into something else. Or they're just incredibly, impossibly lucky.
Well,
And the only person that really works for is Spider-Man.
well,
And also Bucky.
I think they're
No, I'm saying just because of Spider Sense, like in like universe.
right, but
Sorry,
you
I
mean
didn't
makes
mean to cut
sense
you off.
for, right.
Yeah.
that is
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like-
Yeah.
Right, Spider-Man's the
Well-
only one that I would be like, sure, like,
but
fine.
it's like it's the hair on the back of the neck feeling.
Sure.
And I mean, these are, especially the Winter Soldier and Captain America, they're actual soldiers. They fought in World War II. They are trained in
Yes.
combat. Like, they probably have that back of the neck feeling like someone's
Right.
here.
Well, when
Oh,
your
sure,
body
sure.
is on high alert, is producing so much adrenaline that yes, you actually probably can tell what's going to happen.
Maybe, yeah.
Especially if it's like someone coming, you're just like,
Well,
kick,
and then the thing,
Yeah.
even with Tony, like he's got the AI like running
Right.
Oh,
simulations.
right.
and,
Like,
And
Tony also,
Falcon.
he could have, like, and, well, maybe not Falcon so much, but,
I mean, he flies.
War
He's
Machine.
pretty safe.
Right.
Well,
So I just wanted to bring that up, like
Yeah.
as far as, and again, there is a little bit of that. They're gonna fight.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of that,
It's
and I think I was hyper aware of it because I realized Peter was a kid.
I do want to say, I love that line,
because
though.
we're getting so old now.
Well, no, like he's
Like,
60,
these are like,
he's 60. Like Tony brought a 16-year-old
to a superhero fight.
to
An
take in
unproven
Avengers.
hero.
Right.
Yeah, a guy who's done virtually nothing.
He didn't even have the spider suit
6
at this
months.
point. Like,
6 months.
Yeah, he had like a rudimentary like.
right, he had
A
like
onesie.
Like
cloth.
a hood and some
Yeah.
goggles, right?
He had
Oh my
Tobey
god. that-
Maguire's first Spider-Man
Um,
outfit.
But the second thing, fine, we're finally getting this.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
This is like an hour ago.
It's like an hour and 17 minutes.
Dang.
That's all right.
So, the second thing, well, everything about Black Panther. Like, T'Challa is just
Oh, I liked
amazing. But specifically,
how... Okay.
the moment at the end,
Mm-hmm.
the resolution of the arc.
Mm.
I mean, you talked about this, but I think it says really something about the writing where you don't think that ending or that journey is contrived.
Right.
Like,
Right.
And I think we should also like applaud the actor who
Oh, yeah.
who physicalizes that journey.
He cared. Yeah.
He goes from hating one person so much that he's willing to kill that person for killing his father. Finds out that he was wrong. It's this other person. Has a hard time switching gears, but does. And in the end goes, you know what? Nah. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I could not write something so beautiful.
It was
I
very.
couldn't.
It was very powerful. Like, I was moved during that scene.
And the final resolution of that being, not only does he not kill the guy, he doesn't allow the guy to kill himself. He's like, no.
Right.
He's gone so like far. Like he's done a complete 180.
I honestly think that's the most important moment because you
Yes.
can be like, I'm not going to kill you. Like I think that's the easy choice is to
Yeah.
not kill a person, but to like, I'm
It's
going to
still-
save you.
It's still avenging your father if you allow that person
Yeah.
to suffer for what
Right.
they
Like it's the living's not done with you. Right. That's
My third again. This is really small. This is so small. This is so small.
no. Go ahead. It's over here.
My third, Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman was so
Martin
good.
Freeman.
Oh
was
man.
fucking
What are you doing, man?
phenomenal.
Martin Freeman
Who's
was
Martin
amazing.
Freeman?
Okay, he was
Bilbo.
She does.
Baggins.
He was the government. Bilbo Baggins from.
Oh, the guy who's like, no, you're gonna. Or,
John
Right.
Watson.
It's like if you step out of line, zap, please step out of line,
yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
I
He
Martin
was
Freeman.
in
If he's
World's
not
End,
involved,
right?
Yes, he was in World's End.
Okay.
He Bluetooth.
Yeah.
he was also
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Yes.
but Arthur Dent,
If
which
he-
that movie does not get enough credit. That Hitchhiker's Guide movie was hilarious.
if he does not make an appearance in Doctor Strange, I will be a little sad.
Well, he's gonna
He
be.
better be the shield agent that talks
He
to Doctor
has-
Strange.
he has like a 5-film contract.
He's gonna be in Black Panther. We know that.
He's in Black because like
Well, there goes. That's the one white person that we know is going to be in Black Panther because they've literally released that 90% of it.
which is great,
Yeah.
fantastic.
It should
Which
be
is
the
awesome.
takes place in
Wonderful.
Africa.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
diversity.
don't know why they would have to
Quote,
mention
unquote.
that 90% of it would be like.
Like, duh.
I
It
just
takes
don't-
place in literal Africa.
I know.
It
That's
should
what I don't
be,
get.
right.
Like,
Which, by the way,
okay.
is a
Charlize
departure.
Theron should be in this movie.
Which, by the way, is a departure from the comics.
it is
Because Wakanda in the comics is in Antarctica.
really that's weird.
Mm-hmm. There's this weird, like, warm pocket that allowed this, like, climate,
Oh.
and also magic.
Sure. Maybe that's why it's warm.
Yeah, but clearly because of
Actually, you know
Age
what?
of Ultron, it's very clearly in Africa because they go to South Africa and.
Well, actually, does it ever specifically because it only shows you like the climate.
But
Maybe?
they're in Wakanda in Age of Ultron. That's where, like, and then Hulk freaks out and he
Right.
jumps.
Right.
Okay.
And
There's, like-
they end up going far. He ends up, like, leaving Wakanda, but they're in South Africa.
What's that guy's name? The voice actor. He's the very he does motion capture a lot.
Doug Jones.
No, not Doug Jones.
Are you talking about Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis. Yes, he was
Yeah.
in. He played like that
Who's
Australian.
going to be in Black Panther?
Yes, right. Bill, he. I read I don't know about Black Panther, but I know he's like that character is a character in the Black Panther universe, something like that.
Yeah.
And like that was kind of the end for this movie was like him talking about the vibranium,
Yeah.
Yeah.
quote unquote adamantium that they can't use.
Yeah.
Right. So that was like a tie-in. I just wanted to bring that up. I also liked how Black Panther had like those like spikes on his necklace, and then when he was just I don't know his name, T'Challa.
Yeah.
Okay, T'Challa. He had like that one necklace with like a single tooth on it. I thought that was really clever. How it was like just tying the two entities.
You know what Marvel
together.
thing I'm gonna be really disappointed doesn't happen because I want to see the actor do it. I'm sad that Marvel doesn't have the X-Men because the Wolverine is supposed to turn in like his adamantium is supposed to turn into rubber. I would love to see Hugh Jackman just be Rubber Man, like just fall and just be all right. Like that'd just be so funny to see.
That would
Can
be
you
great.
imagine his spikes?
I know.
Like a loose balloon.
Well, he still has the
There's still
bone.
bones
Like,
underneath.
No,
okay.
like his animating bones get turned into literal liquidy rubber.
Well, no, but he has bones.
No, his bones are like rubber now. His,
Does he have?
uses the Infinity Gauntlet
Yeah.
to turn his bones into rubber.
Okay,
And
so
he is, like,
it's
becomes
not
this-
just the adamantium covering his bones.
Right, it's the
Right, it's
whole
not gold
thing.
plated.
Right.
Okay.
Also,
Well,
we talk-
his claws are actually like adamantium plated. Like he has actual bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underneath, yeah.
because
Yeah,
we see whenever he like loses adamantium or
Yeah.
whatever, he has like bones,
Yeah.
claws, right?
I love that movie. Can't
Um,
wait for the third
we
one.
talked about how at the end of Civil War, T'Challa decides not to kill this guy
Yes.
and instead, like, because vengeance has consumed everyone. Did you get a very Game of Thrones message vibe from that? Splash, A Song of Ice and Fire, the book that is based off?
I mean, yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a series of books that hasn't been wrapped up yet, but at this point, I think what I get out of it is the message from that is, like, vengeance and, like, hey, you killed this person who's significant to me, I'm going to kill you and everyone you know, is an incredibly dangerous and scary and, like, horrifying notion.
Which is how, in literature, modern literature, television, film, we glorify or we justify violence through
yes, exactly.
vengeance.
Like,
and I think that's the whole point.
right, like the Taken movies. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to, like, tear through all these terrorists because they kidnapped my daughter or whatever. It's like,
they're the bad guys.
right, and George R.R. Martin is saying, it's like, guys, that's not okay. Can we, like, stop and think about this for a minute?
The reason there's a Taken 2 is because you did what you did in Taken 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And
right.
that's why there's a Taken 3. Guys, there's a Taken 3.
Right.
That makes
No,
sense.
there's a
Stop it.
tag 3 and
What?
there's a tack 3 and
They did the weird
they did the
thing again.
They did Fant 4 stick thing.
But
But yeah, so I just wanted to make the Game of Thrones comparison there because it's a very
Yeah.
similar message. Yeah, was that all of Civil War?
I mean,
Because
I
this was
think-
supposed to
No,
be.
until
like-
he branched out into way
I-
other areas.
I
No,
would
I'm
like-
just saying. Like, do we? Anyone else
I
have
got
any?
I got one more thing about Civil War.
All right.
My one thing about Civil War I was not a fan of. So, Tony Stark, in the end, gets this letter from Captain America. Like,
Right.
oh, here's this resolution where
We're
I'm saying,
on
hey,
the
we are,
same-
like,
Right.
I'm not going to be around, but, like, no hard feelings. Tony Stark's reaction is, like, this smirk, like, okay, all right, yeah, we're done. No. It should have been disgust. It should have been disappointment. It should have still been bitter. If you had done that, that's my thing. Because no one died, you still need that tension at the end, in my opinion.
Right.
And I think that would have been, okay, you didn't kill anyone, but there's clearly still tension here that they will have to work through in the future in order to be... Because at this point, the only conflict for the Infinity Wars, which it can be the only conflict, it's a pretty big conflict.
They're
is gonna...
changing the title, by the way.
To what?
It's no longer going to be called Infinity War.
What's it called?
Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. I don't know.
Oh.
They haven't released it yet, but it's no longer Infinity
But instead
That's
of just like Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet, you could have had this really... You could have taken that story so much farther, but didn't resolve there because there was so much more that could be done. Not that they need anything bigger than Thanos, because that's a pretty big deal.
Just doesn't seem like Tony Stark holds a grudge very well.
I don't know. I felt slighted. I felt cheated. I wanted that tension, and it wasn't there.
So when I watched this a second time, I saw it with my guy, my friend Colton,
Oh yes, Colton.
and he, I'm of our friendship, I'm the DC guy, he's the Marvel guy. So there are so many things that he picks up on in the Marvel movies that I'm not even just references, just tonally. He's like, yes, that fits the tone of this and this and this. Something that he brought up, which is something I was sort of thinking but didn't know how to articulate until he said it, and I wanted to see what you guys think about it. So Thanos clearly is the big thing,
Right.
It's like the Infinity Gauntlet. Things are happening. It's going to be this big
Right.
thing. Whatever origin or reason he has in the cinematic universe, it's going to be a thing. There's going to be a huge thing. We have seen Thanos only a handful of times.
Twice.
I mean,
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm counting any scene he's in Guardians as one time. Of
Yeah.
Seeing. Oh wait, 3 times. It was Age of Ultron. The end of it. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, that was Ultron. Okay, I was
Okay.
thinking that was Guardian. Yeah.
Okay.
So, fine.
Spoilers.
If there were fewer movies, Marvel movies, that'd be fine. But there's not. So there's this big thing that they're only showing occasionally. We know he's a big thing.
When is he
but,
going to get there?
Well, it's not even just that,
Oh.
but we know he's a big thing, but we're not seeing him be this big badass.
Oh.
So to me, he loses potency.
Yeah,
Well,
get that.
definitely.
But
You keep showing me this character, but he's not doing anything.
But that's the thing is, Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet is powerful.
Yeah.
But what makes him a threat to everyone is when he gets the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones, and he doesn't have them yet.
Now, I think there is a missed opportunity that the Marvel movies, maybe it's a conscious decision, I don't know. At the end of Ultron, he says, fine, I'll do it myself, and he gets the gauntlet.
The empty gauntlet.
You guys know where the gauntlet was, right?
It was in
Asgard.
Odin's.
Asgarden?
He walked in, he either walked in to Asgard, or he wrecked shit.
My theory. Loki's whole
Well, right, yeah.
thing in the Avengers
Yeah.
was getting locked up, sent to Asgard.
Yeah.
Because between Thor and the Avengers, because we don't know how he came back. The theory that I have is Thanos brought him back. It was how do we get you back to Asgard? Well, we have you do this thing on Earth with the Chitauri in New York, and then Thor shows up, and everybody stops you, and then you go back to Asgard, and then while you're there, get me that Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So his whole plan was to be just to cause a distraction in New York, and then be captured.
And
Right.
you know what would be really sweet? And I'm not saying they're going to do this because they probably won't. But what could be really cool is showing Thanos trying to get all this stuff, dying, right? Because in the original source, he's already dead. He is resurrected by death itself and given the gauntlet by
Actually,
death itself.
I want to say
Yeah.
a thing.
So it'd be really cool to see him fail. And it's like, oh, we were building up this big thing and it turned into nothing. Then have another movie, not show him at all, not even mention him, like make it look like it's something else, and then just all of a sudden, boom, here he is. The game is on. That would be cool.
So, we know that there's a character known as Death in the Marvel Universe,
Right.
and that Thanos is totally like in love with her.
Yeah.
And, like that's his whole thing. It's like I'm gonna kill all these people so
Well,
that I can.
the
appease
whole
Death.
reason he wants the Infinity Gauntlet
Yes.
is to court her.
Yes, exactly.
Now that's women in power. But, female.
Well, whatever.
And interestingly enough, she doesn't accept his proposal because she felt powerless near him because he was now God.
Wow, talk about anti-feminism. But my point is, I didn't know about any of this when I saw the movie The Avengers. I didn't know who Thanos was or any of that. I was
You're just like, ooh.
Yeah, I was like, who's this purple dude? No, I think a lot of people were that way.
Right.
And my subsequent viewings of the movie, I also didn't know about the death aspect of it. I knew a little bit about Thanos. And then I saw it last night, and having known about death and everything. The line that Wesley from Angel and Buffy, because that's who plays the lobby dude, like the creepy, it's like blah, blah, blah. Fun fact.
Who gets fucked up
In Guardians of the Galaxy, right? But he says the line, it's like, the Avengers are stronger than we suspected. To challenge them is to court death.
Yeah.
And then Thanos turns and smiles. And I was like, I never picked up on any of that. That's the most awesome line I've ever heard in my entire... That is so sneaky, because it's like, he didn't mean that. Like the dude didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Like, Thanos was just like, funny you should mention courting death.
That was the writer just making a jib, like, ha ha ha.
Right, that like immediately made me
Planting
go,
seeds.
whoa, because I didn't even, once, that was just, it was awesome. It was
That's
awesome.
why they probably put that stuff in there. So when you watch it again, you're like, oh.
Right,
I
because,
wonder,
yeah.
I
Exactly.
wonder if this asteroid we keep seeing him on is going to be the asteroid he turns into the death shrine.
Probably.
That'd be cool.
I wonder
I
if
wanna see
Galactus
that.
is going to show up. Galactus better show up.
Well, Silver Surfer would also... Wow. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the whole
We
thing.
talk about this.
Right. All right, so that was Civil War. Did you guys see the trailer for Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be sweet. I think Jody and I were talking about a little bit about this.
I think it's going to be good. I think I'm going to like Days of Future Past more, though.
I have that feeling too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did you
Not that I don't want to like this. Not that I'm
Yeah.
going into this with bad feelings. I just have a feeling this is going to be, and not that this isn't deserved. It's going to be this big destructive thing
right?
with not a lot of emotional core.
Maybe. Probably
Definitely.
not. It's probably going to be a lot more fun than emotional.
Which is what I look for in a movie. But
Let me tell you why I'm really excited about this movie. Because in every single X-Men movie with the words X-Men in it, we've had either Magneto or a human be the bad guy. We're finally getting a mutant that's not Magneto as the villain. I'm really excited for this. Like, Apocalypse is like the first non-Magneto mutant that's going to be the bad guy. That's cool. That's really cool. I want to know what Magneto's role is going to be in this movie. Like, is he going to come in and be like...
He's a horseman.
yeah, I was gonna say
Is he?
He's one of the four horsemen.
Okay, so it's Magneto, Storm...
What's her name?
What's her name?
Olivia Munn plays her.
Jubilee.
No, she's not Jubilee.
That'd be cool. Jubilee
She's
was
in
one
this
of the
movie.
horsemen.
She's in this movie.
Oh, I know
but
she's
that's
in this
on.
movie,
It's
yeah.
what's her name? She wields she makes like katana or like sword constructs. I can't remember her name. Maybe her name is Katana.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Katana's DC. Katana and Zatanna are both DC villains. Hero
I was gonna
villains.
say, I know who Zatanna is.
Yeah. When are they going to make a Constantine movie?
Can we not? Okay.
I want a Constantine movie.
That's
Isn't that
not
already a
Keanu.
thing?
That's not Keanu Reeves.
not
I was
Keanu
gonna say,
Reeves. Not played by Keanu
Pretty sure
Reeves.
it's a thing.
But more next time on.
Oh, are we wrapping it up?
It's been 2 hours.
That's fine. It's not been 2 hours. It's been 1.5 hours.
Oh, whatever.
We can go for another half an hour if we want.
Nerds don't like this.
Whatever.
I mean, maybe not. We've just been like
Living
yeah,
all over
Right.
the place.
Well, not even just that, but like we've just been living in this state of like perpetual like self gratification. It's like validate my opinion,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, that's what podcasts
Or
are.
not, yeah.
So, all right, it's Peeves and Qs. So let's ask a question here right now.
Sure.
All the Marvel movies, both the Spider-Man, X-Men, anything with the Avengers in it, all of them. 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 All of them.
If they come from a Marvel comic.
If they come from Marvel Comics, best one. What's your favorite one?
Oh
what
my
one
gosh,
speaks
such
best to you?
a hard
Yes, it is.
question.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Go, everybody, go right now.
Okay.
Oh, it's too hard. I have two that
You
I
go.
can choose from.
Oh, me go? Oh,
yeah, you posed the question.
Well, that's okay. Well, mine is. It's easy. Obviously, it's.
Stop stalling.
What? Who's stalling? I'm not stalling.
I'll give you mine if you want.
Stalin's
Yeah,
not a
you go
Marvel
first.
character.
You go first. Yes.
It literally is a toss-up between Amazing Spider-Man 2 and X-Men First Class.
Wait, hold on. You liked Amazing Spider-Man 2 better than the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, because they're
She liked Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than the Avengers. Let's just say that.
Well, she just saw the Avengers. That has to sink in.
No,
You have to see it more than once to appreciate all the little lines.
No,
and
it
everything.
doesn't.
I am a god.
What was
There's
that?
my two.
Sorry.
That's great.
X-Men First Class.
Yeah, X-Men
Good.
First Class was really
That's a
good.
great movie.
So, yeah, mine would probably have to be either X-Men First Class, Winter Soldier, or the first... You know what? Never mind. The Avengers. It's the first The
I was
Avengers.
gonna say it's
like,
Avengers.
It's
all the way.
it's the first Avengers. Like, there's so many, like, perfect moments and
The
lines
way
in
he
that
talks
movie.
about this movie is the way I wish he would talk about me.
Like, I
No.
like... Literally, like, we turned the Avengers on, and I was, like, having a 2.5 hour orgasm until the end credits. That was this film. That's the Avengers.
I mean, okay.
It's the Avengers. Connor,
I mean,
it's
okay.
the Avengers. What's yours? Tell me what yours is right now. Say
Mine, Avengers 3, probably, and
You-
Civil
Civil
War.
War.
Avengers, Civil War.
Civil War. But I can't. We were just talking about that. It's the newest one, so I feel I kind of have to give like
Yeah,
another.
I feel
one.
like you have to. Yeah.
Age of Ultron.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than the first Avengers.
Because we were living in a more established world,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so they
definitely.
didn't have to do the big thing. They could focus more on the charactery
Sure.
stuff, which I really enjoyed. And I love James Spader as Ultron.
Oh, yeah,
man. I loved the hell out of his performance.
Right.
So yeah, those two. Yeah.
Wow. That's surprising.
Okay. Well, are we counting the shows?
No.
No, this is movies.
Just the
This is
movies.
Movies.
Okay.
Jessica Jones season 1.
Yeah, I was just about to say Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite
Season
Marvel.
1 of Jessica Jones,
Yeah.
like it tops all of them.
Like,
What
yeah.
about you?
Oh, me?
Our guest.
You
Special
do actually
guest.
get to have an opinion here. We're not just going to be like, here's what we think. Well,
But
goodbye.
this is your only time on the podcast, so
That's
make
right.
it count.
Oh, everything you've said so far is going to be edited out. I don't know if we told you that before.
Well, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
So, Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
The one we forgot to talk about. Deadpool.
I
We didn't
mentioned
talk about
Deadpool
Deadpool.
at the very beginning.
All right.
I said that it was a perfect length.
Wait a second. Best line in Deadpool. Because everyone has like a perfect line.
Oh shit!
I'm going
I
to break
can't
in
even
this
think
new
of one.
hand.
That was
That was
great.
fucking fantastic.
Mine was, wow, such a big school, but I only ever see the two of you. It's almost like
Oh,
the
yeah.
studio couldn't afford any more
I
X-Men.
love that one. Was great. That was great.
That's my
Favorite
favorite.
line.
That's my favorite line. But my favorite moment is when he sees Ajax has gotten away.
Yeah.
And he does the the triple, quadruple takes.
Oh, I forgot.
That's my favorite moment. But my
Wow.
favorite line is it's almost as if we couldn't.
afford any more.
And
X-Men.
does that slow
He
look.
looks directly
the
in
camera.
Yep. That and it's like when he breaks both his hands fighting Colossus,
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like,
And then he
all the
breaks
dinosaurs
his
fear
foot.
the mighty T-Rex.
Oh my gosh! I guess I have to watch this movie.
It was really fun.
I literally, the only part that I really remember like laughing out loud at is when he's about to propose and she's like, "Where'd you get that ring?" And then it pans and it's just his ass. He's like,
I forgot about that too.
Well, it was fantastic. And it's not a one line, but it's like this moment they build to. He asked, Ajax asks, "What's my name?" Deadpool looks up at him on the boat. I'm going to spell it out for this
Right.
motherfucker.
Oh,
And then you think,
Like-
oh, it's just a cool line.
Yeah.
He spells his name on a corpse.
In
It's
dead
like,
body.
"Right."
That's great.
that was awesome.
Also when he like takes his mask off and he's wearing the Hugh Jackman face.
"Oh yeah, that was great."
Because he had that on during the entire final sequence. Like, that's the only way he did
I
that.
also like when what's his girlfriend's name?
It's Inara.
Talk about
Inara.
not.
It's
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
She's
wait.
an Inara.
It's
Firefly.
Inara from Firefly. Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, when she sees him and she's like, "Fuck you."
Now that is a face I could sit on.
Apparently, so I was watching this, like the fun facts about Deadpool.
Uh huh.
Apparently, there was supposed to be a really epic gunfight sequence, but they couldn't afford it. So when they make the reference in the final battle that he forgot his bag of guns,
Oh yeah.
it's because they cut the gunfight.
Wow.
That's funny.
That's very Deadpool.
And T.J. Miller, the comedian who plays the bartender,
bartender.
there was apparently serious cutting to that scene where he's looking at his face for the first time. And I don't know the lines, but apparently it was improv, and he got so like Deadpool unacceptable.
Wow.
And it's like, how do you be unacceptable for Deadpool?
Right. Yeah. Oh.
Because there
It
are
looks like
gonna
your
be
face.
teenagers
It's
that-
like your face looks like an avocado had sex with an older avocado.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
See, I don't even think he looks that ugly.
No, he didn't. We've.
But I love. But that's the thing. I like that though because
Me too.
it means he's totally wrapped up in like the vanity
Yeah.
of like their relationship.
And
Right.
he thinks that she is
Yeah.
as well, which
Right, and she's just
probably
like,
is,
and
but-
she kind of like says it like at the end. It's like that.
I
it's
could
not
get
that
used
bad.
to this.
Right, it's like it's not that bad. You're overreacting to this whole thing. Did you guys see the Honest trailer for Deadpool?
Yes.
No.
It was really funny because they were like, get ready for a movie that you had to be 17 to see, but like 13 to really appreciate, and then it like cut to all the
Definitely.
like just gross
I teach-
jokes and like
yeah.
farting and all that stuff.
I also I teach at a high school, and it's just like, my students just like,
Yeah. It's like this is made for people
yeah,
that were too
and,
young
and,
to see this movie.
and like telling them, oh yeah, I'm gonna see it this weekend too, and then we can, come to class on Monday, and it's just like, I did not.
It's like, I'm glad
get-
you guys
I was
enjoyed
gonna
it.
say I did not get out of this movie what you guys clearly got out
That
of
is
this.
not one that a teacher can talk about with their students.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't because I'm a drama teacher, but
And they're like, yeah, the Red Band trailer. You can't watch the Red Band trailer.
Right.
yeah.
YouTube.
When did Red Band trailers start?
Always.
What do you mean always?
Red Band trailers.
Since the 20s when they first made
No,
movies?
Red Band trailers used to all R-rated movies. That's how you knew to like get your kids to not watch a trailer.
The first
It was literally red instead of green.
The first Red Band trailer that I saw was for that, like, Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, American...
Oh, that stupid movie.
Like,
yeah.
they were
American
assass-
Ultra?
Yes, American Ultra.
I like that movie.
That was the first one that I saw. It's like Red Band trailer, and then like Deadpool and like a few others have been since then. And now I've been like, these are awesome, like because you can actually show what the movie is,
Yeah.
without like lying to the audience about like, hey, it's like a PG-13 thing. And it's like, no, it's not.
No, stop.
Well, since the show is called Peeves and Qs, I dare you to tell one peeve about a Marvel movie that you hate. A small one.
Wait,
Don't
wait,
make a big
wait.
one.
I got one.
Oh, wait, did you say yours?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, because we went out of order. Sorry.
Yeah.
We
We
did
did
Say,
include.
did everybody say their answer?
We did
Okay.
include Quaffman.
What's up?
The quaff.
I have a peeve about Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Until Civil War, they've kind of just felt toothless.
Yes.
Like they're just gonna fight. It's why I liked Civil War so much, is because it's like, yeah, they're fighting. They don't need to be fighting right now. Like the airport scene, which was one of my favorite scenes, didn't need to happen. But as soon as like he killed my mom, like then it's real. It's like that's what I liked about it. It's like, okay, there's a reason for them to be fighting now. You believe this?
You just turned your peeve upside
No,
down.
I'm saying they didn't do that for the first like 12 movies that they did.
Did you just really count?
No, I heard I was listening
Oh,
to
okay.
a podcast earlier today.
I see
where they talked-
piggybacking on a podcast.
What do you
Alright.
want from me? It was great.
Researching, not piggyback.
Yes, I was researching.
Okay.
This was like the
State your
13th Marvel movie.
State your source.
The Comic Conspiracy.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay.
Go listen to the Comic Conspiracy.
Link in the description. I'm kidding. I don't make that decision.
No, I will. If
You're
anyone
a
wants
guest.
to link something,
Know your place.
yeah, I'll have edited that out, so it's fine.
Anyway, Jordan.
You did answer
everyone.
the question, right?
What question?
His
Favorite
old question.
Favorite
Yeah.
Marvel movie? Yes, Age of Ultron, because I got mad at you for that. Moving on.
So we are still incorporating every Marvel movie
Yes.
ever.
Yep.
Ever.
Doctor Doom.
It's not a movie.
That's
Yeah.
not.
They-
No. Oh.
The character,
Wait,
Doctor
wait.
Doom.
No, film.
Both of them?
What film?
Yes, every film adaptation that has Doctor Doom
Oh,
I just said an
pisses
element.
me off because he's so much cooler
Oh,
than
oh,
the
talking
kid.
about-
Oh, we're
Peeves
talking about
now.
Peeves now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Element. I'm talking about an element of a Marvel movie that
Okay.
peeves you off.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then yes, Doctor Doom. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Doctor
I thought
Doom.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
got
think
you.
you would
I got
answer
you.
like the favorite movie
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
I was
favorite
like,
movie question.
that's
I was
not a movie, dumbass.
They've never made a Doctor
No,
Doom
my
movie.
favorite movie was Deadpool. She has asked,
I
That's
remember
right.
now.
what
okay.
upsets you about more?
been a
Every
long
interpretation
podcast.
of Doctor Doom.
There you
Because
go.
they can't. He is better than every other villain. I will outright say that. He has magic, he has technology, he has seen the future, literally. He went back to the dawn of time to learn all the magic.
That's not the future.
But then he sees the future.
Okay, unrelated.
And he sees the future where he whirls the world and achieves world peace, which is why he's not really a villain.
Did you read Secret Wars? Just came out. The
No.
big event.
before they rebooted.
Before they reboot, like it was like leading into the reboot of the all new, all different
reboot.
Marvel.
Isn't that the one where they finally killed Deadpool? Kinda, sorta.
Oh, I don't
Yes.
know. Did they?
Yeah,
But,
because
I
the
mean,
worlds collided.
but universes collided. There's a new Deadpool.
What happened in Secret
They dropped
Wars?
a planet on him.
What happened in Secret Wars was like all of the universes in the Marvel universe like came together and were being destroyed, and so it was only like the main one, 616, and like what is it, 626 something,
The Ultimate
Universe. And like these two universes were like at war with each other, and they eventually like converged and like were both destroyed, and like the remains, like Doctor Doom was like not the only survivor, but he was like the one who like was outside of everything at the time, so he like saw the void or whatever, and he was like, I rule now. And so like all of the surviving characters from Marvel Universe, he was like, you're all my peasants, you're all like under me. It's like Sue Storm, right hand, like right next to me, like at my side, like the whole time.
Yeah,
It was
he
awesome.
he is a fantastic character, fantastic villain, quote unquote villain. I mean, he does bad things, but so does the Punisher. So does
Right.
name an anti-hero. But
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
yeah, he is awesome, and no one has captured his awesome because the Fantastic Four stuff keeps getting just tanked.
It is weird how they keep making subpar Fantastic Four movies. I know we talked about
But
this
maybe
last.
if they made him awesomer, they wouldn't fail so hard.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, you have a peeve?
I want to go last.
Okay.
Oh, my
You have a
turn.
peeve.
I did. Let me retrieve it from the back fourths of my brain. Okay, I got it.
Great, that was fast.
What I've recently getting into all of the Avengers stuff is I realize I am not as entertained by the Avengers as I am, say, Batman or even X-Men, really, because I feel like I don't really like their evil, the villains. They're
Right.
just not good. They're not flavorful. They're not.
Right.
They're just not what I want out of a villain.
Right. This is something that we talked about. With the exception of Loki, they've all been just like completely one-dimensional. Like, hey, I'm evil. I'm gonna try to
So
destroy
you're not
everything.
even like Loki.
He's not the most developed villain of any villain
They're
ever.
just not fun. You know, Batman has some of the best villains. That's why you watch it. But
It's almost unfair to compare Batman to everyone else because it's like Batman's villains
He
are
has
so...
the best villains.
He has
Yeah.
the
Just
best
does.
villains.
and that's
right.
what I started with. So that's what I expect everything to be. So
Right.
villains. I mean, just I don't
Step
know.
up your
I
game.
just want a little bit more out of you.
Come on, Christopher Eccleston playing that, white elf from Thor 2. Come on, be a better character.
Did you give a peeve?
Yeah, I said they were toothless.
Right. So it's me.
That's you.
My peeve about all the Marvel movies? The Marvel fans.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Mhm. What are you talking about?
This isn't just because, like, as far as like comics, I'm a DC guy.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
I read Marvel comics. I love the hell out of these Marvel movies.
Right.
But don't make me feel like less of like a comic book reader because I like
like
DC,
DC.
and I want DC films to do well. I think Superman and Batman are far superior heroes
Yep.
to the but that's my opinion.
Well, it's the
it's
difference.
subjective. I understand that.
Right.
You guys need to understand that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Right. Now,
Seriously.
do you share my opinion that... What was my opinion from before? I literally was about
What
to
do
say
you
a thing.
believe in, Alex?
What do I believe in? What is life?
No.
Okay. Move on and I'll get there.
I completely agree.
No, like that's really all it is. It's like, I mean, for the most part, like when I say Marvel fans, I just mean
Oh, God.
everybody who enjoys it, and
Yeah.
then they'll walk into like say BVS UJ, which again wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't. It is not that terrible.
No, it's not
No.
a bad... It's not a
like it
terrible
is
film.
not a bad movie.
Right.
As
Like,
someone
No,
who
it's
isn't
not.
a DC fan, I only want to see that movie because of Ben Affleck as Batman. What a choice. What a great choice.
Like honestly, one of the best parts of that movie, by the way.
This movie, Batman versus Superman,
Yeah.
made me like Superman.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Which is something that I was like, I'm not really into Superman because, but before. But now I
Okay.
really like Superman.
So, Connor, I want to know if you share this sentiment. With
Sure.
Batman v Superman,
Sure.
I was really excited to go into this movie because I'm a huge DC fan,
Yeah.
and I'm not...
We share
big-
that together.
Well, I'm not done, but yes, I haven't read that many Marvel comics. I've read tons of DC comics,
Right.
so I know a lot about the lore
Sure.
and backstory of DC.
Oh, same. Yeah.
So, when they drop an Easter egg into the Avengers and they're like, oh, Stephen Strange, I don't know who that is, so that doesn't excite me. But when they show the Mother Box in the backstory
Yeah.
for
Right, yes.
the backstory for like
There
Cyborg.
there was a ton of
Yeah.
Easter eggs
Yep.
in
Right,
BBS
right.
DOJ that I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
ooh, there's,
Like when-
there's something for everybody.
Like when the Future Flash showed up and was like, you were right about him and all that, which was really confusing. But once you like got what was happening, like, were you like, yeah? So like going into the movie, you were like super excited to be like get all the Easter eggs
Yeah.
that you wouldn't have gotten from a Marvel
Yeah.
movie. Okay, good. Just making sure
Well,
I wasn't
but
alone
that's
in that.
what I know of Marvel lore. I have learned because I've read some.
Yeah,
I've tried to keep, especially with all the movies coming out, I've tried to, if nothing else, keep up like with reading storylines online without having to buy
Right.
tons and tons of comics.
we're broke. Yeah,
Right. But as far as lore, like I have intimate knowledge of the DC universe.
Yeah.
So going into BVS DOJ, for me, I don't know. It wasn't like, I don't know if I can say it's like how Marvel people feel when they go see Avengers,
right.
because I also get a lot out of that too.
Yeah.
It's just
Anyway.
when it comes to fans, when they haven't, if they haven't seen everything and, read it and do
Yeah.
this and, really look into it, that's when I lose complete respect to them. Like, oh,
Yeah.
not that I should, because
Right.
everyone should be it's just like cosplaying. Like, even if you put
Sure.
on a t-shirt, you technically are, but
Right.
I do your research before you pass judgment on someone like the DCU.
Right.
who's doing,
Yeah.
You
Like,
know.
and that's the thing. Like I say, like Marvel fans, as if I'm not like
One of them.
amongst them.
Yeah.
I am
Right,
a
right.
huge Marvel. I'm a
Like,
huge
And
fan.
that's what I don't get either. Why do
Right.
we have to pick sides?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask, like, if someone on the street were to ask me, "Are you a DC? Are you a Marvel?" I'm DC. Like, I just am.
If you have to choose,
Yeah.
between
If I
one
have
or
to
the other.
choose, like,
It's
right,
Democratic
right.
versus Republican.
Right,
Like,
right.
you
It's-
have to choose a
it's,
side.
Like,
yeah.
whatever. But I have found that Marvel fans, and when I say Marvel fans, I'm
I
really
know exactly what
talking about the general
The dude
public.
bros of the comic
Not
world.
even dude bros. Like just
like people that
ordinary.
wouldn't walk into a comic book shop and buy like
right.
issues.
And again totally fine. That's why these movies exist. They
Right.
exist for
you don't have to
like-
have read all the comics
Right.
to
No, right,
go
exactly.
enjoy the
But
Avengers.
do
but
not pass.
but then
Yeah.
do not say to me,
Right.
"Oh, you like Superman? Superman's stupid."
Right.
How
That's unfair.
like it's like, well, okay, you have that opinion, sure. Why?
Why? Tell me
I
why.
will always
Yeah.
ask why, and
Right.
they're like, because
Right.
they don't make good movies.
Sure.
Oh,
That's
okay,
different.
that's not Superman.
That's not
Complete-
Superman's fault.
That's
like
a
that's
completely
the
different
Which
issue,
Superman
right.
made one of the best superhero franchises.
That's like saying
it was
I'm
just dated.
Yeah.
You know what that's like saying? That's like saying I'm not crazy about Oreos. Well, why? Why don't you like Oreos? Well, I'm allergic to peanuts. Okay, unrelated. Why don't you like
And-
Oreos? Right.
because I don't like Oreo shakes that have peanuts in them.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. What?
Wait a second. You're
Who
blaming
makes
the
that?
Oreos
Dairy
here.
Queen?
I have no idea. I think I just made it up.
I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Oreos.
But yeah, like that's my peeve.
Yes.
It's the fan base that is uninformed that passes judgment.
It's a good one.
So
Yeah.
fans out there listening, you better do your research
Yeah,
before
that's
you
right.
run into Quaff Man.
Yeah.
You aren't a fan unless you look up the like. You can enjoy it, but fans research.
Until you sit down
Yeah.
and you hash out all the little
Or
details.
even if you have an opinion, have an opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
If you say to me,
say why. Yeah.
yeah. You say you don't like DC comics, or you don't like DC movies, or you don't like the same Marvel hero as I do,
Right.
Or villain.
or villain, whatever.
Yeah.
Have an opinion.
Yeah.
Don't just I don't like it because have an opinion.
Right.
Like
I mean, you
should
and I have
rate
had this conversation.
Right.
Form an
The
opinion.
only Marvel trade that I've ever read is like the one that's like the least likely to ever be. It can't be in any of the Marvel movies, and it's AVX, Avengers versus
Yes.
X-Men.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It's never going to happen because literally two different,
Maybe when we're really old.
Maybe I mean
Maybe-
eventually.
maybe-
like, we never thought Spider-Man would be in the Marvel.
Maybe the
Avengers
Marvel
movies.
Cinematic Universe only exists so they can save up enough money
To
to
fund
buy
all
everything
those
back.
mutants.
That's probably what's going to happen. I mean, eventually they have to buy back like all of the things that they sold off, right?
they won't. Not for a long time because Fox is doing really well with their X-Men franchise.
Sure, not for a while,
Yeah,
but
this new X-Men is pretty
We
awesome.
should not see them so they can get it, but I'm not gonna do
Like,
that.
these are good movies. I don't know.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not
doing-
gonna pass it up because
Yeah.
I love X-Men.
Except
Right,
for
right.
Fantastic Four.
I'm gonna go see the new Wolverine movie, which is gonna be rated R. It's gonna be great.
cannot wait. When are we getting the rated R director's cut of BBS DOJ?
as soon as it's released on DVD. No, I
thought it was going to be in theaters too.
Oh, was it? I didn't hear about that.
Last I
What?
heard.
I
They were
didn't
going to
hear
like
that.
re-release
Why would they do
it.
that?
I'm not
Like in August or in June or something.
I just realized that BVSDU, the extended R cut, I'm not sure if it's being released at the same time as the rest of the like home release stuff. I think it's actually being released after. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I'm thinking as a separate release date.
Right. Separate releases, like the episode that we just released of Peeves and Qs versus the next one we're going to do. So, thank you for listening. You'll be able to listen to that one next week or whenever you hear this.
If you like
That was an awesome segue I just made there,
That
you
was.
guys.
If you like these specialty episodes,
Yeah.
leave us a comment on what you would like us
Let us
to
know.
talk about. Star Wars.
We don't know yet if
any of
we're...
that crap.
yeah. When like episode 8 comes out, we'll probably do a podcast on that. Just like stuff.
Or
If you
Rogue
guys...
One.
Rogue One, right? If you guys, if you guys liked hearing this, you can probably listen to our other episodes on iTunes, where I'm sure we'll be on there at this point.
And if you have any questions, you should ask us questions.
Definitely, yeah.
Because we're gonna run out of them eventually.
We're gonna run out.
There's only so many questions.
It's only episode 3, but I feel like I'm running out.
So
Yeah.
guys, why?
No.
Why not?
Wait.
Special
No.
guest.
Wait a second.
Why not?
The all-encompassing question of why.
Yep, that's the question.
Well,
Can we not? Next time.
yeah, we'll do our research. The next episode.
on
next
Dragon
episode,
Ball Z.
No,
Don't poop.
Nope, we're not doing this again. Thank you for listening. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Mr. Spell out the long way, Red2342. That's at Mr. Red2342. Does anyone else have a Twitter?
No.
Okay.
This Twitter is my Twitter.
Okay. There might be a Twitter for this, Peeves and Qs, or something of that. We'll more as
We'll get our
news
shit together.
arrives.
We'll do our research.
Yeah, the next episode will be a lot less. Well, no, it won't.
Look for Critical Fail Productions on YouTube coming this summer.
What?
Critical Fail Productions on YouTube coming this
Critical
summer.
fail, spelled CR. You know how it's spelled.
Like Clever Girl Effects Studios on Facebook.
Mr. Red Productions on Facebook.
Quaffman.
Clothman
on
on Facebook.
Facebook.
I'm sure that exists. We just plug something for somebody.
All our fans are gonna rush
We'll make
there.
it. We'll
Yeah.
make it. We have to make this like,
Well-
right now.
Let's get our laptops
Let's
out.
get a laptop right now.
All right, thanks for listening. Check back next week.
Bye.
Guys, this has been terrible. Shut it down.